on Sports 1440.
Here's Wallace, goes it down. He throws it down. A thunderous dunk from Jason Wallace, and the crowd erupts again.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
And the defending Stanley champions move on to the Eastern Conference Final, and the song remains the same here in Toronto.
Well, a terrific Tuesday afternoon. How are you? Welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. As always, it's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. I'm Jason Gregor. He's Connor Halley. Hope you are having yourself a lovely Tuesday. A little wet outside. We'll take it. We need some rain. It's drier than toast right now, so we'll take it. It's good. We got a loaded show for you today. Of course, we're going to set up the Western and Eastern Conference Finals. The Edmonton Oilers, hey, you knew that last week. They're in, and now it's going to be the Dallas Stars for the second consecutive season. This is the 10th time that the same two teams have met in consecutive conference finals. Two teams actually did 3 years in a row, but of those 10 who did it 2 times, they've split 4 times, and the team who won the first one won the second one 5 times. So Oilers can become the 6th team to go 2-0 in the conference final. Then they will get back to their second Stanley Cup final in a row and see if they can change the result from last year. We got lots of time to dig into the Oilers and the Stars. I think there's a lot of commentary out there that isn't matching reality. What happened months ago doesn't matter. Because the potential's there. Sure, the potential and reality, that's what matters, right? That's what matters, is who's going to show up. And the Edmonton Oilers, their scoring has showed up way more than Dallas thus far. Dallas has a negative goal for goals against differential thus far. Now, because when they lose, they've lost big. They've been shut out 3 times. Lost 4-0 3 different games. They lost 5-1 in one game and lost 7-4 in another game. So you do the math. That's minus 19 in 5 games. So not good. Now, when they win, they've had one blowout win, and then they've had a few tight wins. The Edmonton Oilers, meanwhile, they've been pretty good. Now, their first 2 games, not good. Since then, they've pretty much dominated their opponents. 8-1, their only loss came on an own goal with 0.4 seconds remaining. They flew to Dallas. They'll actually have a press conference in Dallas in around an hour or so, and they'll be ready to go. No, don't expect any lineup changes for game 1. Stuart Skinner will start in goal. You got Klingberg and Wallman, Bouchard and Kulak, Nurse and Stetcher, McDavid and Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, Draisaitl with Podkolzin and Kapanen, Henrique with Brown and Kane, Janmark with Perry and Trent Frederick. We'll see. You're probably going to see Matthias Ekholm later in the series. Not going to play in the first 2 games. We'll see where it goes. Now there is it's the playoffs. People should be excited. And as always, the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor100 if you've yet to use it at PlayAlberta.ca. That's Gregor100, and you get a free $100 play. Also, it is Tuesday, coming off the long weekend. $30 million up for grabs in Lotto Max. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. We got a lot of time for text messages. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. We'll get to some of your thoughts on that. A few things that came out over the weekend, the broadcast days and times and the broadcast team. Now, Chris Cuthbert and Craig Simpson, they do a great job. They're their national number 1 team. And the minute there's only one Canadian team left, they do the games. That's how it's always been. That's how it works. And so I know fans, hey, you like Jack and Louie. I totally understand it. You will have Mean Gene as the host for that. The start times, as expected, there'll be broadcast start at 6 o'clock, puck drop at 6:20, except for Sunday's game 3. It's a Sunday afternoon game. So can someone explain to me why this has some people so irate? I don't really understand. I think take a step back. Mountain Standard Time Zone, I argue, is the best time zone to watch sports. Without question. So the early rounds, broadcast time was 7:30, 7:50 puck drop. Compare that to Central Time Zones. They had puck drops at 8:50, some at 9:20 local time. 9:20, imagine that. Right? You're struggling to stay awake for the 7:50 final whistle. Imagine if it was 8:50 or 9:20. Trust me, you don't like it, right? A few years ago when Edmonton played Calgary, it was 8:50. Thankfully, they've wised up and they've changed that. So that's a good sign. But as the games get more important in Mountain Standard Time, you get better start times. 6:20. Compared to, look, if you're in the East, if you're an Oiler fan and your kid's an Oiler fan, and they've been watching the team, like, we're into the third round now. This is awesome. Now the games start later. You'd be like, pardon? You'd hate it, but that's how it is. Right? What about being an Eastern Time Zone fan in the NBA playoffs for the championship? Those games start at 7 our time, 9 Eastern. Okay? You have one matinee game and people are freaking out. I need to know why. Like, why? Your kids get to watch the game start to finish. You get to watch the game start to finish without having to be like, geez, I'm up till 11. It's one game of the whole playoffs. It's a matinee game. Now, it happened because ESPN got first pick this year, and they picked the Western Conference because they got McDavid and Draisaitl. They're a pretty big draw. They got the rematch, Dallas and Edmonton. I get it. And so you have one matinee game. Heck, if you're a youngster and you like to party, you're getting day drunk. You can be in bed at 9 o'clock. It's unbelievable. Got the best of both worlds. You start at noon. You have a great time. Whew, that's a good shift. Go to bed at 9. You're up at work on Monday. This feels great. That's when I realized how the Brits in England, because when I went over there, all their pubs closed at midnight. Here, we're up till 3 in the morning. Closed at midnight on a weekday. Guess what? Now you go home to bed. You get up the next day. So it's one game. I don't really understand so much frustration about it. And I saw, the travel's terrible. What? They're flying first class. So they stay overnight now because they've done all the studies. It's better to stay overnight. And it's about 3 hours and 45 minutes direct, maybe 4 to Dallas. That's it. So they have a 4-hour flight. They come home. They don't have to have a morning skate now. I talked to a lot of guys. So I wouldn't get that upset about it. Is it different? Yes. It's not a reason to freak out. Now, if you want to freak out, be a Leafs fan. That's a reason to freak out. Although you shouldn't be surprised. We called this, okay? This is not new. This is insanity in thinking that, we're going to change everything but the core four. And when the games come down to the wire and you need your best players to produce, and these guys haven't ever produced, that magically now they're going to produce. I got to get it off my chest, but my goodness, the amount of excuses that came out for Toronto. Oh, it's hard for the players, the fan. What? You're blaming the fans? They got fans paying $100 to stand outside and cheer. And you're going to blame the fans who buy jersey after jersey after jersey, overpriced food, overpriced tickets all the time. And you're going to blame the fans? Give me a break. Are they the only? So the New York Yankees, there's no pressure there, right? The LA Lakers, none of those organizations had pressure. It's only Toronto. They're the only team in the world of sports who has pressure. Go to Europe. Let's just call a spade a spade. Toronto's best players have yet to be able to show up when it matters the most. Full stop. No other excuse, just reality. They're 0 for 6 in Game 7 since 2018. 0 for 6. Matthews, no goals, 3 assists. He's -4. Mitch Marner, no goals, 2 assists, -7 in 6 games. Nylander, hell, that guy looks like a superstar. He's got 2 goals, at least 4 points, -4. Tavares only played 4 of those games, had 1 goal, 1 point. So you combine the 4 of them who have $40 million, and in Game 7s, they give you 3 goals, 7 assists, and 10 points. Combined. Like, it's not even half a point a game per player. And you're going to tell me it's because the fans? Like, come on. Why do they have to make excuses for them? Right? Oh, they really want. You think Toronto players want to win more than other players? No, they don't. They clearly want to win less because they have yet figured out how to elevate their game when it matters most. That's just the truth. Now, one game 7, you might not get any points. It happens. David didn't get a point in game 7. It happens. But look overall, game 7s. Look at McKinnon. Go through the list. Look at Brad Marchand has more points head-to-head in game 7s himself than Marner and Matthews do combined. Come on. Like, give me a break. The amount of excuses that are, it's hard. Yeah, life is hard. And you know what? Winning is hard. It's not easy. That's why there's only one winner. And lots of good teams will lose. But the Leafs never come close. They don't win. They've won twice with that group. 2 series. That's it. They've never made it to the third round once. So you can make every excuse, or you can just look at the facts that they're not good. And I see, Mitch Marner, go somewhere else, he'll be great. Maybe if the other team has players who show up at key times. Because until he does, he won't. Now, maybe he'll learn from it. But I'm telling you, if you're going to pay Mitch Marner $14 million, you are not getting bang for your buck when it matters most. Okay, you're not. He's a small winger, a very smart player who does not score goals. Okay? He's never been a goal scorer. So anybody who signs Mitch Marner, if you think that he's suddenly going to be a big-time goal scorer, I think you're fooling yourself. Right? He's had 30 goals twice in his NHL career. Right? He's a decent scorer. He's a 25-goal scorer. Right? Because he scored 25 goals 5 times. That's what he is. In the playoffs, he has 13 goals in 70 games. The most he had one year is when they went second round, he had 3 goals. He'll be an assist machine. Great. He'll be a setup guy. But when you look at guys making 11 million plus, look at the forwards who make 11 million plus. Leon Draisaitl. Well, he hasn't even made it yet, but he will starting next year. 4-time 50-goal scorer. Connor McDavid. He scored 60 goals, and he scored 40 goals multiple times. Austin Matthews. At least he's a goal scorer. Now, he doesn't produce that many goals in game 7s, but at least he's a goal scorer. Nathan McKinnon. David Pasternak. Mikko Rantanen. Mitch Marner does not score goals. He's never scored goals. Now, maybe suddenly, in his 700th career games, he's going to be like, you know what? I'm going to become a goal scorer in season 10. I guess it's possible, but that's not his game. And the reality is, even if you're a good passer, at some point, to be a big-time player, you got to score a goal. So whoever signs Mitch Marner, they have to understand that he's not a goal scorer. He'll be a playmaker, but he's a playmaker who played with one of the best goal scorers. Is he going to get as many assists if he's not playing with Austin Matthews, who can beat goalies like a lot of other guys can't? Because is Mitch Marner suddenly going to shoot the puck more? Is he suddenly going to score more? It's a big risk, is all I'm saying. Good player, but $14 million, that has buyer's regret written all over it. All over it. And I look at the Maple Leafs when I hear, it's hard for them. That organization gives their players more than any other organization, from treatments to food, everything else. Okay? It's unbelievable how well they're treated. Now, if those players are sitting on social media reading off what 0827 Matt says, well, then that's their fault. Right? They don't need to be on social media. If they are, and they're reading because someone says, hey, Mitch, you suck. Well, oh, well. And guess what? I get Gregor, you suck all the time. It does not impact how I do my job at all. Right? Those are two totally different things. When Mitch Marner's on the ice in a breakaway, he's not thinking about Basement 79 Rob, who said, man, I suck. Oh, geez, I guess I do. Like, give me a break. Always looking for excuses to want to give people outs. Right? Hey, the guy, this guy molested kids. Yeah, he's a nice guy. We're always looking for excuses. Stop it. Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews, William Nylander, John Tavares. Crunch time, they have not got it done. Full stop. No excuses. Full stop. They haven't done it. They don't produce even remotely close to other star players. Hell, they don't produce as much as bottom end guys. Matthias Janmark, Cody Ceci has more goals in Game 7 than Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. Cody freaking Ceci. Like, give me a break. Right? It's like the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers are a good team. Now, you know what? There's going to be high expectations for them to win this year, as there should be. When they didn't win last year, no one made excuses. Hey, man, you lost Game 7. It's tough. You came that close. But if they at least got there, and they'd been to the conference final 2 years prior to that, they'd been into the second round the year before that. Like, the Oilers at least win a round every year. Usually 2. And no one's like, oh, geez, you know what? The fans are hard on them. Like, look at Evan Bouchard. There's a prime example. There's people that want to rip on Evan Bouchard. Oh, he makes too many giveaways. And then look at him in the playoffs. He's a freaking assassin. He doesn't melt away. Oh, geez, you know, some guy said I wasn't very good in the regular season. I guess that's going to impact my play in the playoffs. Like, stop with the BS excuses. Look at Stuart Skinner. Go read how many Oilers fans wrote, oh, Stuart Skinner, you'll never win with Stuart Skinner. He sucks. He should never play again. What does he do? He comes back and he posts back-to-back shutouts. Because he's proven in his career he's resilient. Can he be a little inconsistent at times? You betcha. But you know what? He's making $2.6 million. He's not making 11, 10.9, 12. He's not doing it. He's making 2.6, and he's taken his team to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final. And he's bounced back after a few poor efforts. He doesn't sulk and pout and then just continually be bad every year. He has some ups and downs. But the guy shows up without every fan saying, we love you, Stu Skinner. That's part of the job. You want to get paid millions of dollars to play a game. Every now and then, someone's not going to like your game. It's just how it is. I don't think it's anybody who has any sort of inner toughness as a player isn't going to care. But, in Toronto, geez, like, give me a break. And Brendan Shanahan, he should not be back. He's overseen the whole thing and allowed the lunacy. They kept making excuses for their players. We're going to change the GM. We're going to change the coach. We're going to change the assistant coach. We're going to change our third line center. We're going to change our fourth pair defense. We're going to change our goalie. And hey, some of those moves worked. They improved their team. But at the end of the day, when you want to win a big game, at some point, don't your big guys have to show up? Like, look at Connor McDavid, Game 7 against the LA Kings, 2022. What did he do? Dominated the game. Connor McDavid, Game 5, clinching game against Calgary, overtime winner. I would go through the list of games he showed up. Look at Leon Draisaitl. Guy's playing on one ankle. What did he do? Just play 2 points a game. They show up. Toronto does not show up. No chance. And for any Oilers fan who wants to rip on Bouchard and Skinner, you might want to grab a clue and understand they could be inconsistent at times, but those guys have both shown you an ability to bounce back and really show up when it matters. It's just a fact. Just a fact. Like Stu Skinner, it's almost like he needs a little bit of discipline. Oh, we're going to sit you for a few games and he's going to come back and play great. Would you prefer that he didn't have those stinkers? Yes, of course. But it's how people react. It's how people react. And they react. And my goodness, Toronto guys do not react. People talk, they should bring Mitch Marner back. What? Are you clueless? There's no chance. That core four has no winning capabilities together. They have none. None. Now, Florida, they got a lot. Them and Carolina. I'm fascinated about that series. Looking forward to it. We'll see. Is Carolina this good? Is their road a little bit easier? We'll find out. Is Florida that much of a step up from Washington? Soon find out. Can Carolina, now speaking of repeating yourself, Carolina, I've said it. They've never been able to get to the top of the mountain because they don't have a superstar. Now, they tried to get one. It didn't work. Although when you bring in his girlfriend and they're caught off guard with the trade, and then you put her in a hotel out by the airport by nobody because it's cheaper, and you're like, well, geez, we'll offer the guy $14 million, but we'll cheap out on everything else. Probably not the best way to make a first impression. And it's amazing some of the stories I've heard out of Carolina and how they'll cheap their way to sing. You got a billionaire owner who's cheap. Doesn't make sense to me. Like it doesn't. So, but they don't have a superstar now. Will it hurt them again? I think it will. I think they might get to the final, but they're not beating Edmonton and they're not beating Dallas. If they beat Florida, I don't see it happening. Dallas, Edmonton, we'll get into that. We got Kevin Woodley joining us. We're going to do an in-depth analysis on Jake Ottinger. He had an unreal series against the Winnipeg Jets. He was okay in the first round, but he was lights out against the Jets. But as Woodley has shown, there's always a weakness. Last year, the Oilers got to Ottinger. And, hey, Stu Skinner played better. The numbers all back it up. He was better. So we'll talk to Woodley about that. Arjun Atwal will join us. He is a Willie O'Ree Community Hero Awards finalist for the NHL. Right here, former member of the Sherwood Park Crusaders. So we'll talk to Arjun. TR will be by. Dave McCarthy from SiriusXM. NBA playoffs, baby. OKC, they made it through. They're into the conference finals. We got Struddy, Spec, DVD. We got a loaded show, and we'll get your thoughts. 833-401-1440. We'll return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price, starting at just $1 plus tax. For a small, great tasting coffee every single day. Must be McCafe.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantor, proudly delivering world-class hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada since 2016. I'm thrilled to announce our in-house production of tool components and accessories for faster turnarounds and enhanced versatility. The future is here at Cantor.com.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadians for $5.25. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref. That ain't hard, is it? And every game night during Edmonton's playoff run, specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocksYEG.com.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Legend has foretold of a smoothie so delicious and refreshing that it could quench the thirst of a fire-breathing dragon.
But it's also a great pick-me-up after a workout. The new Dragon Slayer smoothie from Booster Juice, a legendary blend of dragon fruit and mangoes, destined to be your next obsession. Try it today along with the new Dragon Booster Ball and the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer.
3 epic menu items to conquer your cravings. Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Time on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. This is Andrew Walker, and join us for the Cross Mitsubishi pregame show before each Edmonton playoff game. Cross Mitsubishi on 34th Ave and 96th Street.
Okay. Hi there, this is Riverside Motorsports, Yamaha, Suzuki, KTM, Polaris, Gas, Husqvarna, Tibbersled, Stasic, Talaria, Climb, Thor, Alpine Stars, 509, Troy Lee Designs, and more. Sales, how can I help you?
Located on St. Albert Trail, rideriverside.com. Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing, taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's 2 things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Mr. Rooter hits the gym.
As a new Mr. Rooter plumber, you get access to our company gym.
Nice. Where's the equipment?
Over here, we have a variety of tight pickle jars. Open those up to work out your pipe wrenching muscles. We've got your standard weighted plungers and over here, a pipe wrench.
Why is that guy forcing his body into a suitcase?
He's getting limber. A good plumber must be able to fit under any sink.
For a plumber who always works out, call Mr. Rooter.
Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Don't miss the midweek showdown on Wednesday, May 28th at 7 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca.
Explore Internet just got 10 times faster. 5G Ultra brings incredible speeds to homes in rural and small town Canada. Upgrade today at xplore.ca.
The My Choice sales event is back at Nissan, where you can get the all-new boldly redesigned Kicks with best-in-class cargo space. Right now, choose Kicks S front-wheel drive with $1,200 in Nissan bonus or accessory credit, or choose 3-year prepaid maintenance. The choice is yours with My Choice. Hurry in. These offers won't last long. Head to your local Nissan dealer and make your choice today. Available in leasing or financing through NCF. Conditions apply. See Nissan.ca for details.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Watch every Oilers game at OTR with $5.25 Molson Canadian, $5 Pink Whitney shots, and 60-cent wings. Plus, play Oilers Score and Win for your chance to win On the Rocks gift cards. Oilers Hockey at OTR. Book your table today. Jasper Ave and 118th.
The Jason Gregor Show. The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Day afternoon, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. You might want to check out the Celebrini goal from earlier today. Not bad. Wonder if he'll change his number to 96 in the regular season. Probably not, but it's looking pretty good. Pretty good. I know it's the Worlds, but still, it's pretty good. Hope you're having a lovely Tuesday. Of course, the Eastern Conference Final goes tonight, Carolina, Florida, and then tomorrow the Oilers and the Dallas Stars for the second consecutive season. Let's get to our and I know this many people like it. They look forward to it. We do it before every series. Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine, NHL.com joins us now. We're going to go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. Take action on your savings. Action Electrical, where you're thinking about solar for your home or your business. Go to actionelectrical.net. Woodley, how you doing, my man?
I'm good. I'm rested up. We got all the second round previews out the door yesterday, sort of mid-afternoon. So all the sleepless nights are gone. I slept very well and very long last night. So I'm ready to go for conference finals now.
All right. So Jake Ottinger was excellent in the second round. First round, man, but second round, he was really good. So, and Dallas, funny enough, Dallas has not been the defensive juggernaut in the playoffs here that, some people think. They've been outshot heavily. They're not giving up a ton of chances, but they pretty much almost every player on their team, except their third pair defensemen, have a negative shot differential. So looking at Ottinger, how did Winnipeg attack him? Where did they have success?
Well, I would say actually that they may be getting outshot, but from a quality perspective, they're doing just fine. And we see that in his environment, his expected save percentage in that second round. It was, and you're right, he was excellent, but the environment in front of him was good as well. I believe his expected save percentage in the second round, Jason, was .903, which is, that's a team doing a really good job in front of their goaltender. I would say that there are ways you can break him down, like there are with any goaltender, and the biggest thing to me with him is, for a goalie of his size and ability, he gets outside of his posts or his lines more than, and this is a style of play thing. I'm not saying it's the wrong thing for him, but there are times where he takes himself out of the net more than, maybe your average goalie coach or observer would like, given the size. And we saw that in the Mason Appleton near goal, right?
It's a goal.
Yeah, it's a double slot line play. So don't get me wrong. This is a really difficult play anytime it goes across the middle of the ice once and then goes back the other way. But the first one, he's sliding, he's outside of his post. So the number of times, and we see this in sort of, the amount of goals that go in sort of outside the pads, the number of times where he's not in the net as good as he is pretty high, actually, for how good a goaltender he is. And you mentioned he had an incredible second round. He was plus 2.3% behind a pretty good environment. Interestingly, next guy on the list was Hellebuck at plus 1.9, but his environment was 30 points lower, right? Like, so they especially on the road, they were so bad on the road in front of him. So if I look at Ottinger's last 4 seasons, he's basically a league average goaltender statistically. We know how good he can be, but statistically, that's what he is. And so when you start to break it down, playoffs outside of the first year he's been in the conference final, this is now 3 straight years. But relative to expected, each of the past 2, he's finished underneath. So there are things you can get to. And so when we talk about getting a goalie outside of his post, there are plays you can try and run, things you can try and do to recognize those moments and then take advantage of them. And one of them for him is sometimes net play or sharp angle attacks or coming down the wing on a rush and taking it down outside the circles below the dots and watching for him to set up and square on you outside of his lanes, outside of his post, and then trying to make lateral passes. So listen, like those are tough plays to generate against a great Stars defensive team. Real easier said than done, but those are the types of things you can do is sort of look for the moments where a guy gets himself into these situations and then try and recreate them as much as possible. And that's sort of one off the rush when you get wide is where he tends to get outside of his post more often. Now, there are other things that you take a look at in terms of when you move the puck. Jake has a somewhat distinctive motion, and fans can look for this on Wednesday night, between his high stance and his save stance. And a lot of goalies do. To me, it would ideally be more sort of a piece of your tracking where it's sort of one piece, but he will be in his high stance and it will be an abrupt drop. And you'll see his butt sort of lower, chest come up a little bit when he gets into save stance. And so as soon as you're in that spot, mobility becomes limited. You're a little locked in. And even a goalie who moves as well as he does, once you drop into that low wide stance, your lateral mobility is significantly more limited compared to before. So if you, again, you're looking at rush chances and you're looking, when do I move the puck if I can get an odd man or if I've got a trailer defenseman coming in? It's once he sets up into that low wide stance, you look for that distinctive drop. Now I move it east-west. You move it east-west when he's still up on his skates in that tall, narrow stance, he's going to beat that play or he's going to slide over and be in more control. So these are the types of things you can try and do or look for to take advantage of some of these tendencies. Some of the other things, just go through them. Low glove, not high glove. I mean, the temptation is obviously to shoot high glove, but the save percentage is actually lower low glove than it is high for him, which is uncharacteristic to the norm. Like league averages, it's typically a lot lower high glove because when you get a goalie moving east-west, that's when you shoot high because they tend to drop their hands as they move. But on straight line shots, Jake really has that sort of fingers up high glove position. He's made some great saves in the playoffs where he'll come off his post, keep his edges, get to the top of the crease, and the guy will shoot it high, and he's got the glove right there. And you're basically shooting into his coverage. So as soon as you see sort of that fingers up glove position, it makes it harder to get it down just over the pad. So again, one-on-one, mano-a-mano, I'm looking to shoot just over the pad rather than high glove as a default. If I get him moving east-west, that's when I'm looking to shoot high glove. And that's true of most goaltenders. It's in the one-on-one situation where it's a different look. Some of the other things, we talked about laterals. For a lot of guys, you shoot against the grain on those. You can catch them moving one way with pucks the other way. Not for him. Again, because he tends to play wider in terms of his depth, east-west, he's outside his lanes a little bit. You want that quick one-timer short side. That's where you expose him the most compared to some other goaltenders. So how can you create those? Also off net plays and jams. McDavid is so good at this on the power play where they create plays where he gets to come downhill and drive the net from a wide angle. And it's going to depend what side. So if a guy's coming in off a dead angle, sort of down below the bottom of the circles and attacking the net on his backhand, Ottinger is going to set up one way on his post. If he's attacking, probably into a reverse inside his post. If you come in on your forehand, he's going to square up on you. And he's going to play an overlap with that bottom pad outside of the post, taking up more net, protecting himself more in terms of a shot. That's where you can make lateral plays and lateral pushes because, again, that rotation once he squares up to you from a dead angle is so big to get back to the other post, or where you can pump fake him and get around. We've seen some wraparound goals as well. So look for those moments. We saw it with Nate McKinnon in a crucial game where he had him on the backhand, and so because he's coming in on his backhand, he goes into a reverse. he pulls it to the forehand, pulls him off his post, and beats him short side. So those are some of the cues. Depending on whether you're on your forehand or your backhand coming off the wall from sharp angles, he will mix up his post play, and how you attack that depends, again, on your handedness, your situation, and how you see him integrated into the post. So there are a lot of little things that you can try and to attack.
Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine and NHL.com joins us. Kev, Stuart Skinner, it seems like he needs to get disciplined, and then he comes back and he's very good. He's shown a resiliency, there's no question. I know people would like it if he didn't have to get benched. Fair. We talked about it. We didn't think Stuart was bad in the 2 games against LA. He just didn't make a big save, right? He didn't let in a bad goal, just didn't make any great saves. Against Vegas, though, since coming back, he put up some pretty good numbers. Now, I know the Oilers' environment was pretty good, especially in Game 5. But, man, Game 4, the Barbashev breakaway, the McNabb save, like those two seem to just kind of give him confidence. And he's been very, very poised. And he doesn't really ever look out of place here the last few games.
Yeah, first one back in Game 3, I thought he was committing early and on his knees early, and that's when he gets, we've talked about it before. Once he's on his knees because of the butterfly width, he's somewhat limited laterally. So you got to open to push. There's a little bit of a delay. That's where he tends to lunge and end up on his stomach. And you saw, like on the breakaway in Game 3, where Riley Smith pump fakes him to his knees and then gets him to open up. Barbashev with the straight shot tries to beat him 5-hole. That's the difference. To me, it's the pump fake and open up versus just a straight shot. And if I'm Vegas, and I guarantee you Dallas is going to school on this, if Vegas, I'm pissed at Barbashev for not trying to deke there. Like, you've got to make him go east-west. So as much as I do these scouting reports on other goalies, you know that other teams are doing them on Stuart Skinner. And the big thing to me on rush chances is you've got to get him going side to side. That's the biggest sort of bulletin point that will be up there on their board for how to attack him. If you're the Oilers, and he was full value in Game 4, 7 high danger chances, no goals against. I think for me, and you've heard me talk about this before on your show, the number of times where he ends up out of control and laid out and sort of sprawled out or on his belly, like I could count it on one hand in both games combined. The other part, playing, we just talked about it with Ottinger, losing your net, getting outside your post, pushing out at plays, and then ending up in scrambles where you have no net coverage because you're outside of your lanes, you're outside of your lines. Too much depth east-west. Again, in those 2 games, I think it only happened twice. And so to me, that control and calm element in his game is important. And obviously environment matters.
Yeah.
In Game 5, they made it easy for him. I think Vegas had 1.18 expected goals, 2 high danger chances, 3 if you count the one that hit the post. So the biggest thing to me for the Edmonton Oilers and Stuart Skinner in this series, because much like Vegas, Dallas is one of the best teams in the league off the rush. Yeah. That's what they do. And the Oilers smothered Vegas in the rush in that final game. They had nothing. In the final 2 games combined, Vegas had 3 high danger and 3 mids off the rush. That's it. And that is playing to your goaltender's strengths and keeping the other team away from it. Now, how do you do that? Yeah, it's offensive zone time and it's things like that. But it's guys back checking and hard back pressure within the neutral zone and not giving skilled players time and space to make plays off the rush, not allowing the defense to be active because you're on them as soon as they enter the zone. But a big part of that, Jason, is not turning the puck over in areas that lead to those types of chances the other way. And to me, that's that discipline. It's one thing to be in the offensive zone for long periods of time. It's another thing to be able to do it with a control element where you're not wasting shots or B, taking shots that lead to easy transition or trying to make plays that lead to easy transition the other way. And I think that is going to be such a crucial part of this series. It's not just Dallas's forwards. You saw Heiskanen skating. He got stronger as that series went on, like just leading the rush and out of his zone and so smooth with it. I think that is going to be, I think it was key to Game 5 in Vegas. And I think that's going to be a crucial part of this series, not just, for the Oilers in general, but for putting Stuart Skinner in a position to succeed.
Yeah, 100%, right? Like I've said it many times, Stuart Skinner isn't paid. The team isn't built for him to have to steal games. Now, he did last year, especially Game 6 against Dallas, so he can do it. Every now and then you need it. But if you give him a sound environment, you just need solid goaltending. And he did it for 21 starts last year. He had 2 bad games. And now if he does it again, I think Edmonton's chances to beat Dallas will be pretty good.
Can I throw one thing in there at the risk of absolutely inflaming your audience and lighting up my mentions for the next couple of days?
Yeah.
Do you know who deserves a lot of credit? And this is not this is not an Edmonton thing, but anytime you see a goaltender come back after an absence and have success, especially an absence that was surrounded by a lot of criticism and failure, sort of rediscover their game and get back to the roots of it, it's usually the goalie coach. And I've had this conversation around the league over the years and have mentioned this before. And I know in this market, it's a hot button topic, but that's usually where it comes from. And again, I've said this in other markets with other coaches, to be able to come back after the absence and go back to the foundation of your game, to not chase, to have the faith. Yes, environment matters, but rebuilding that during your time off, and rebuilding that confidence requires a coach that knows how to put you in drills that allow you to find your triggers and find your confidence. And so I think, again, knowing what this is going to do to my mentions, I think that's worth pointing out here.
Well, okay, I've never met a person who most of us, myself included, really don't know what the goalie coach does. But they will want to rip on the goalie coach because anytime Stuart Skinner has a bad game, the goalie coach sucks. Well, Calvin Pickard's unreal. Yeah, he's the same goalie coach. Doesn't matter. He still sucks, right? And they're like, you know what? Guys left without him. Who? Well, Devin Dubnyk. Yeah, but Dubnyk didn't play here with Schwartz. It doesn't matter. I hate Dustin Schwartz. So it's an ongoing argument with me that makes me chuckle. Hey, Anthony Stolarz. There'll be guys out there. Yeah, but he had Stolarz for 6 games, and look what happened to him. I'm like, yeah, he had him for 6 games. Then he spent 2 more years in the minors. If you think those 6 games with Schwartz had any impact on his career, I don't think you understand the goalie coach position, because you get a guy in there late in the season, you don't change anything with a month to go. You just kind of work little things, and then you say, hey, we'll talk about it in the offseason.
I hadn't actually thought about the Calvin Pickard stuff because I think Pick's game is like there's some parts to it that are definitely a little more old school. He clearly reads the game at a really high level, and I hadn't paid attention to some of the details because at times it looks like an unmade bed in there, but there are details that matter. And I actually had another goalie coach from another organization sort of point that out to me amidst some of the criticism surrounding the first round. He's like, when Pickard started to have success, I got a text message, and this goalie coach from another team was like, people realize that the goalie coach is a part of this, right? And the success that he's having there now. So, and listen, and we've talked about environment too, not ignoring that. I'm the first one to bring it up. Like, for whatever reason, I think this team rediscovered its defensive identity with that switch. And I think a big part of it is how well and how hard they play for a guy who plays so hard and so well for them when Calvin's in net. So it's just an interesting thing. Again, I've done this in other markets, and that's why I almost shied away from it here, but I'm like, hey, like I've brought this up on other shows in other markets in similar situations. I mean, Carolina right now, I know that Freddie Anderson was only out for a little bit, but to make sure that when he comes back after the injury in the next round, he's right back on form. Like Paul Schoenfelder is a guy who doesn't get nearly enough credit for the work he does with the goaltenders in Carolina. And so, I mentioned it in other circumstances, and so I thought it warranted a mention here, even though I know there's a sensitivity to it in the market.
You can't shy away from sensitivity because some people get upset that you want to give credit to someone. No time for that, K-Dog. Kev, as always, buddy, good to talk to you. Enjoy the series, and we will talk to you again soon.
Yeah, one little quick tidbit for tonight in the Eastern Conference Final. Freddie Anderson has been the best goaltender in the playoffs so far. We'll see if he can keep it up. If the games played go up, that's a concern. The last time outside of the playoffs that he started 6 games in a row was the first 6 games of his first season in Carolina in 2021-22. On the flip side, for all the talk of quote-unquote playoff Bob, he's still below expected for the playoffs this season. So he's got another gear. We know it. Right now, the Florida Panthers are doing it not despite their goaltending.
His last 3 games, though, Kev, were pretty good.
Again, yeah, but they're in the hole they're in part because the first 3, and lucky not to be in the 3-0 hole in part because his results weren't what we're used to. And so it's just interesting how narratives get built. Connor Hellebuyck, his expected save percentage in the second round was better than the regular season where he could win the Hart Trophy, and he's a playoff bust. And I know it was mostly based off the first round, but Sergei Bobrovsky is playoff Bob and a hero, despite the fact he's underperformed his environment now for 2 rounds because he rose to the occasion while the Leafs wilted. It's just interesting how the narratives go.
Yeah, it's not always how you show up. Maybe it's when you show up. Kev, great stuff, buddy. We'll chat with you again. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jason.
It's Kevin Woodley from InGoal Magazine and NHL.com. Quick break, and when we come back, very excited to talk to our next guest about doing some very important things. And the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features, including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Noodle noodle nood noodle nood noodle nood oodle noodle noods. Noodle noodle nood 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 oodle noodle nood oodle nood noodle noodle nood noodle nood noodle nood oodle noodle noods. Noodle noodle nood 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 oodle noodle nood.
Throw a load down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$2:49. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. As we go in the community, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer long at legacyheating.ca. The Willie O'Ree Community Hero Award. It's handed out in the NHL. And it goes to an individual through hockey who has impacted his or her community, culture, or society. Of course, the award honors O'Ree, who was the first NHL forward to become the first Black player to play in the NHL way back in 1958. And one of the Canadian finalists, a former member of the Sherwood Park Crusaders, who is now doing tons of stuff off of the ice. Joins us now Arjun Atwal back on the show. Arjun, congratulations, my man. It's a big honor. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on today, Jason. And I'm excited to obviously be a finalist and come on the show today and talk about a little bit what we do for the community and why.
Now, back in 2020, right in the heart of COVID, you founded AZ1 Hockey to expand hockey primarily within Western Canada, South Asian, and of course the BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, and people of color and new immigrant communities. So obviously, you know what, that's near and dear to your heart, being a Sikh yourself. Kind of take me through the process of founding AZ1 Hockey. Yeah, so as one came about, as I had a handful of parents come to me, being a prominent figure in the hockey community as a South Asian that played, lucky enough to play various high levels, and just asked for support. They came up to me and said, we have a few kids that we want you to lead. And for me, it was no problem at all. That was something I looked forward to. And I welcomed with open arms. We hopped on the ice, and that's where the snowball started. To fast forward a little bit and take you through a little bit of the journey, we worked with those kids, and we still work with those five kids almost on a weekly basis, especially in the summer months. And we do a lot of on-ice training, obviously, of the game. We do a lot of off-ice mentorship, helping kids prepare for ID skates, tryouts, junior camps, get college, university scholarships. We help kids also at the grassroots level register into hockey. There's a lot of private leagues now. There's various minor hockey organizations. So it's a little bit more complex than it would have been maybe 10 years ago, but we help break those barriers and just simplify things for everyone. And whether that's through language or simplicity, we're happy to help. So you mentioned through language, because obviously, you know, that's a little bit of a barrier when it comes to maybe a coach and a player's understanding. So, you know, there are lots of, immigrants and, and people from various communities who maybe they don't have a mom or dad. There's no one who played the game that can kind of give them a little insight on it. And they see it, though. And, if you're in Edmonton, it's hard not to be an Oiler fan or see how everybody gets fired up about it, right? And so it's an easy way to feel connected to the community is if you understand hockey, and then obviously playing it makes it even better.
100%, especially in Edmonton. We're such a big hockey market that hockey is such a community binding activity, whether that's on ice or off ice. Just a little bit about that. We actually have started a ball hockey league here for the Punjabi community. It was a league that went on for about 14 years, Punjabi Ball Hockey League, and unfortunately that kind of came to a closure this year. And Sonny Seacon and I took initiative here this summer to keep that going, tie our community together and other communities as well. So we've started a league, about 115 players, and like you said, bringing the community together. A little bit of insights and bringing people together on the ice is hockey does that really well. It not only brings the kids together that are in minority communities, but also all communities, as one's open to all players, whether that's Caucasian or BIPOC, like you mentioned. And hockey is a lot more than just trying to play pro and be good at the sport. You learn a lot of life skills. You learn how to handle yourself and conduct yourself in public places and at community events. And that's one of our major teaching points to all the kids and parents that come through the program.
Well, Arjun, for yourself, you immigrated to Canada from India. You were 4 years of age. You got into hockey young, I'm assuming. And as you moved up, I'm guessing it became even more of a minority for you, right? There's not a lot of Sikhs playing even, junior A hockey or triple A hockey at all. How was that for you growing up? And has that maybe fueled you to want to get more kids to play the sport?
Yeah, so for me, obviously that was huge. Being able to have the opportunities as one of the only South Asians and Punjabis of Sikh descent to play at those levels, the junior A's, the triple A's, and onward was obviously something special to me. But for me, looking around and going to those levels and seeing that there was little to no representation was something that struck me and was alarming, that we have such a diverse population and such a great basis in many, many areas why can't hockey be the next? And that's what's really pushed me towards that. Also, being Punjabi and speaking the language, knowing the culture, really pushed me to progress in the game. And that's what I want to do is push more kids up in the game so we can represent our culture and show the vibrancy and the rich culture that we do have.
So when you look at this, just being named a finalist is a pretty big deal, of course. The winner is going to get a $25,000 prize donated to the charity of choice. The other two finalists each receive a $5,000 prize donated to your charity. So either way, it's a big impact to help out your charity. Kind of what's the next step for you, Arjun? What would you like to see, in the next few years as growth for you and your charity and your foundation?
Yeah, absolutely. So for us, outreach is the biggest thing for us. We want to reach as many people as we can and help as many people as we can. Like you said, Western Canada, we're growing pretty well, and we have a good basis and good standing in Alberta and BC and onward a little bit. But for me, the vision is to kind of expand into Eastern Canada now. It's we've started some grassroots levels expansion ideas there, and using this outreach and this platform that we have been given, luckily, from the NHL and all the good work the kids have been doing and the parents and the core group we have at As One Hockey, we want to expand and help more kids because, like you said, we started in 2020 and we've had such a big impact in these 5 years, helping over 500 to 1,000 kids in different provinces throughout Western Canada and in various ways within hockey. If we can expand that number and help more kids, then that's the next vision. Whether that's through mentorship, on the ice, off the ice, in any way, shape, or form, and show kids that they can do it if I did, and if my supporting cast did, why can't they do it? And we want kids to progress and have the support of us to deal with discrimination they may face or just regular adversity through the hockey journey that any player would face.
Well, Arjun, congratulations. I guess what inspired you to start it?
The inspiration was growth in the community. My parents were lucky enough to adjust. They immigrated here and they learned on the fly. That doesn't mean my journey was perfect. That doesn't mean my hockey journey was without adverse challenges and hurdles. And if I had a mentorship program like As One that I could hop on the ice with and do private sessions and at limited cost, or speak to someone on a Google Meet each day I needed support, that doesn't mean my hockey journey would be different. But that is the goal of the organization. That's our mission, to rectify hurdles, progress players within the game, and teach them that it is going to be difficult, but if you put in the work, you can gain a scholarship, you can gain pro, there's endless things that you can gain. You gain a valuable network, you meet lifelong friends, and we want to show them that hockey is such an amazing sport and it binds the community. You mix in with community and so many other things. So that's our message, and our outreach is how we're going to do that.
And Arjun, how can people out there maybe who could use your help, how do they get involved? How do they apply?
Yeah, so we're on various social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and we're getting on Twitter as well. We have our website, as1hockey.com. Simply just have to reach out via email or phone, and it's very easy to get involved. There's a form on the website as well that you can fill in and get involved, and it's onwards and upwards from there. It's as simple as that. Reach out, get involved, and we're more than happy to include everyone. We're very inclusive.
And that's az1hockey.com. Anybody out there? as1hockey.com. As is AZ in this, or Z, I guess, depends how you want to say it. So, Arjun, congratulations again. It's inspirational. It's great stuff to get back to the community and give kids another opportunity to play the game that you love so much, and gave a lot to you. So I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, and just to message everyone to vote daily, and let's do this for Edmonton.
Awesome. There you go. Yeah, you can go vote for it so Arjun can win, man. 25 G's. That is huge for that charity. That's unbelievable. I love hearing it. Young guys, only 25 years of age. Started that right when he was 20. That's fantastic. So kudos to him to getting to be a finalist, and hopefully he wins, which would help out immensely in the Edmonton community. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Truck month continues on, but only for about another 11 days at Alberta GMC dealers. Get a $5,000 cash purchase credit on 2025 Sierra HD models. See more at gmccanada.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final gets going tonight. Canes and the Panthers down in Raleigh. That gets going just after 6 o'clock. Off the ice, the Boston Bruins have signed GM Don Sweeney to a 2-year contract extension, putting him in charge of the roster rebuild that missed the playoffs for the first time this past season since 2016. In the association, you've got the West Finals getting going. Thunder Timberwolves from OKC. Tip-off in that one set for 6:30. And Canadian center Zach Edey of the Memphis Grizzlies was named to the NBA's all-rookie first team earlier today. Major League Baseball, you got the Cubs and the Marlins, Red Sox hosting the Mets, Blue Jays kicking off the series with the Padres in Toronto, Mariners taking on the White Sox, Rockies, Phillies, and the Dodgers up against the Diamondbacks. You got weather issues in Minnesota that's going to postpone the game between the Twins and the Guardians. PWHL final, Ottawa taking on Minnesota. Puck drop just after 5 o'clock out in the nation's capital. And it looks like Denmark picking up the win over Germany. That means Canada will place them in the quarterfinals after Canada was victorious over Sweden 5-3. And earlier today, NFL owners voting to permit NFL players to participate in flag football in the 2028 Summer Olympics. The next step is to negotiate with the Players Association and national governing bodies. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by former NHL Terry Ryan, Dave McCarthy from SiriusXM, and we'll talk some playoff basketball with Paul Sir of The Basketball Show. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience. But it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-660-0514 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Mr. Rooter hits the gym.
As a new Mr. Rooter plumber, you get access to our company gym.
Nice. Where's the equipment?
Over here, we have a variety of tight pickle jars. Open those up to work out your pipe wrenching muscles. We've got your standard weighted plungers and over here, a pipe wrench.
Why is that guy forcing his body into a suitcase?
He's getting limber. A good plumber must be able to fit under any sink.
For a plumber who always works out, call Mr. Rooter.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Are you tossing and turning all night and stiff and sore the next morning? If your sleep is suffering, it's time to visit the Brick Mattress Store. Their sleep experts will help you find the right support for a restful night's sleep. Back sleeper, side sleeper, hot or cold, there is a perfect mattress for you. Plus, with next day delivery, your best night's sleep could be tomorrow. Check out the Brick Mattress Store locations in Spruce Grove, South Edmonton, St. Albert, and Leduc, and start waking up refreshed.
Get moving with Volvo and save big for summer during the May sales event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's the final month to lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up
Tuesday afternoon. How are you? Welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Oilers and 25 cents. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref. That ain't hard, is it? And every game night during Edmonton's
YouTube,
playoff
Facebook,
run,
X.
specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at OnTheRocksYET.com.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing, taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's two things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price, starting at just $1 plus tax. For a small, great tasting coffee every single day. Must be McCafe.
For a rock-solid start on all your spring and summer projects, Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete to septic tanks, precast water pads to outhouses, plus aggregates, landscaping supplies, and more. Renos, construction. Start planning right now at BashawConcrete.com or call 780-372-3854. That's 780-372-3854. Family owned and operated, proudly serving Albertans since 1963. Bashaw Concrete Products.
Hey, Alberta, the all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan. For all your residential water needs, your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles. Culligan.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on after 3 o'clock. Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Text us in our email inbox. As always, is the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where $30 million, baby. It's Lotto Max Tuesdays. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. And while you're there, if you like casino, sports, live dealer, lottery, instance, they got it all. Use the promo code Gregor50. That's Gregor50 and get a free $50 play at PlayAlberta.ca. Now, let's we're going to get to TR in a second. We got a lot of text to get to as well. And we'll get your thoughts. Oilers, Stars. You've had a weekend off to think about it. Now, I know some of you say, geez, I don't think he'll get much time off. Do you remember how much time you had off between the Western Conference Final and the Stanley Cup last year? What if I told you 6 days? Right? Remember, the Oilers played on June 2nd. The Cup Final didn't start until the 8th. And Florida had finished their series on the 1st. The NHL elected to go the whole week because the Oilers finished their series on a Sunday until the next Saturday before the Cup started. So I'll be curious to see if they do something similar this year. Pretty big time off. And then remember, in the Stanley Cup Final, the game 1 and 2 would go like Saturday, Tuesday, but then you'll have 2 days between games because of the travel. Because whether it's Edmonton, Carolina, or Edmonton, Florida, it's pretty big travel. Now, Dallas, a little bit different. That might change it. Maybe that's significantly closer. So maybe they would limit it. But when you have that much travel, last year, Florida, Edmonton, they added a day off, or an extra day between games 2 and 3, an extra day between 4 and 5, 5 and 6, 6 and 7. So that's why it extended until I think it was June 20. It was the Monday, whatever the Monday was. I think it was the 24th. So we shall see. Long ways to go to get there. But what are your thoughts? More confident? Even less on the Oilers compared to last year? And whoever wins the West, as I tweeted out on the weekend, whoever wins the West, Edmonton or Dallas, automatically has home ice in the Stanley Cup Final because those teams both had 100-plus points, and Carolina and Florida were 99 and 98 points. So the West will have home ice advantage in the Stanley Cup Finals. Now, let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Female Super League. It's expanding. 12U, 14U, and now 16U for girls. Professional women's hockey is expanded by 2 teams. And, hey, the Female Super League expanded as well. More opportunities for girls to play. Check it out, femalesuperleague.com, as we welcome in former NHLer, Tuesday, Thursday, co-host, guest host, Terry Ryan joins us. TR, how you doing?
Good. Had a unique day. I recorded some lines for a video game. I've never had to do that before, but they needed a Newfoundlander, and lo and behold, I got the call.
What's the game?
It's a war game, so it features the Newfoundland Red. I guess you could say like Call of Duty. I don't know if I'm at liberty yet to say exactly what it is, but it deals with the First World War. And if you're going to tell that story from a Canadian perspective, you can't really do it and be true to it without telling the story of the Newfoundland Regiment or Beaumont Hamel or what have you. So I got lucky in that, I guess by population alone, there's only so many Newfoundlanders out there. A lot were busy. I got the call to audition, and there's more than one. I'm not sure who else, but there's a division of us, and I got the role of Cliff, and I was pretty pumped about it. It's fun.
Nice. Let's talk conference finals. Oilers Stars. How do you see this series? What do you like about Edmonton, and is there anything that concerns you about Dallas?
This is going to be real interesting because I think both teams are peaking. People say that, and of course that's subjective. But I mean, it'd be hard to argue that the Oilers don't have their the best lineup and the best buzz that they've had is right now. I mean, you could just start with people being injured alone, right? So the Oilers, I think there's a reason that they're buzzing. And for the Stars, I mean, I don't know, a month before the play, I know they're darn good team. We knew that all year. But a month before the playoffs, I don't know that they were quite buzzing like this. It'll be interesting. Both really want it. The Stars, I would think analytically probably were more physical on the year, but the Oilers are a different team in the playoffs, and they seem to match intensity while also being disciplined. This is a toss-up. I told you at the beginning of the year I took the Oilers. Looking at this, it's certainly a toss-up. I think that this will be, I called this at the beginning of the playoffs, if this happened, Edmonton, Colorado, or Edmonton, Dallas would be the series of the playoffs. And I'm going to stick to that. I think this is going to be a long one.
I look at the Oilers and Dallas in the regular season, their depth was very good. In the postseason, not so much. Mikko Rantanen has scored 37% of their goals 5-on-5 himself. Their top line amongst forwards, even more than that. If you just look at the forwards, they're significant that line is basically doing most of the scoring. I think it's like 58%. So you've got Duchesne, Robertson, Sagan, and Ben have combined TR for 1 goal and 2 assists, 5-on-5. Those are like Maple Leafs top 4 numbers, okay, in big games.
Yeah.
So you look at that, and do you say, oh, geez, they're bound to break out? Or do you look and say, well, Edmonton's guys got a bunch of confidence, and I'll go with confidence over hope of breaking out?
I would go with confidence over hope. I wouldn't, I would stay at it. I just start, I mean, it's easy to say getting Jamie Benn's face, but I mean, because you don't want to give anybody a bit of confidence, right? We all know, I think you don't have to play hockey, you play any sport or even play an instrument or what have you, to know that, you get a rhythm and you get some momentum, and it feels like you're riding away, and you don't want to give them any, you don't want to wake up a bear. So I'd respect them as players. I would start just immediately not giving them anything. A close gap, get in their face, turn the tables. You don't have to be fighting as we saw, but you go out there and play the same way, man. Just take it to them. I really do think that Dallas are going to come at Edmonton with physicality, a la Florida, Toronto, maybe. You look at Jamie Benn. Did you see when he punched Scheifele in the last series, in that last game?
Yeah.
Look at the look in his face. That's a guy who, he enjoyed that. He wants to do. He likes playing that role, and he wants to hurt. He wants to get in your face and throw you off that way. Now the Oilers are big boys. The Oilers have beaten the Stars a lot. I'm sure it's not like they haven't seen this before, but I would be wary of that. And there's a difference between being tough and disciplined. And I think Darnell Nurse last series did it better than anybody in recent history, man. He went out there. There was a lot of the Oilers. I really, really look at him because they were at him a few times and he didn't take the bait, and he ended up, people got on him here and there. I thought he played a hell of a series, man. And he was the epitome of tough while being disciplined. And that's what wins you championships.
Yeah, well, the Edmonton Oilers, I don't think are going to get out intimidated by it. They have Jamie Benn. Well, the Oilers have got Frederick. They got Kane, right? Like, I think they got more toughness if it actually wants to go into the alley. And I've always argued I think Edmonton plays a little bit better when they go there, right? Evander Kane, that's a big part of his game. He's obviously fully healthy. Now, the one aspect of Miro Heiskanen, Game 6 against Winnipeg, that guy looked fully healthy again. He played 24 minutes. He was unreal. Him and Harley, I would argue, maybe the best pair in the series. I think Edmonton has the best 1 through 6 defense. And what about the Rantanen and Heinz? If you're Knobloch and you saw how well Leon Draisaitl shut down Eichel in the final few games, do you try to get that line out there? Or do you just say, hey, we'll take Connor McDavid? Which one do you think we'll see more of against Rantanen's line?
I would 100% go with your first option there. I mean, Draisaitl, if he's got to do a job, he'll do it. He did it well. I don't think he's intimidated. I think he would, in fact, I'm sure he's not. I would think he would welcome that challenge and then some. And you're still not bottling him up. He still had lots of chances, man. Like, he still had the puck on his stick, and McDavid's McDavid, and the rest of the team's flying. And like you said, yeah, man, they didn't have Kane and Frederick for the most part. And these guys will answer the bell. I really like what I saw at Draisaitl when he was given that mission, and I would do it again.
Terry Ryan joins us. TR, what about Florida? And I guess what we got to talk about Toronto, man. I know you're out there a lot. You got a lot of buddies who are Leaf fans. What do you make of Toronto? And, Game 5, awful, good win in Game 6, and then terrible again in Game 7.
And terrible, like not even in it, right? And you got to think, and Craig Button said something interesting yesterday. I forget what show it was, but he mentioned how, Dubas came in years ago and the Shanna plan. And, that I think they came at it knowingly from an angle that we're going to get away from what ended up really is playoff style hockey, the rubs and it's going to be skill. It's going to be analytics. I think I don't know if they ever said that. I mean, it's pretty obvious if you look at it, but they consciously went with that. And again, what happens in the playoffs every year? Those people, I'm not saying that, let's say Matthews and Marner in particular, okay, we're talking core 4, we can go deeper than that, but let's just say that, right? Because you got the obvious tale of two cities. You got McDavid and Draisaitl out there who always show up. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. You know it. And yet there's games that you watch Matthews and Marner, and, you don't realize, they're not making much of an impact. Sometimes you don't even know they're out there. There's got to be something to that. And sometimes, maybe it's not their fault. Maybe they're not wired that way. Maybe they came up through elite hockey school. I really don't know. And didn't know much of a team concept. I don't see guys that don't want to win, but I don't see people that hate to lose. I certainly don't. So what is that? And then you go deeper, and these guys, I think, drafted around that, and they built their team that way. And you can pick up as much, surroundings, as much cushion as you want. But when you're being led by people that probably don't even know the definition of what it is to win, in a big way in the NHL, they've never really seen it. They've never maybe grown up around it. Maybe they're not being told it's important. But all I know is that every year, let's just take the Oilers even, right? What happens if every team trades for guys like Frederick, right? And then what happens in the playoffs when Kane came back, right? Just little things. And he's playing hard. And I know a couple of times I pointed to when he ran over the goalie there, but he was pushed in. Yeah, but he put himself in that position, and he knows how to play. He's been there before, and he's not scared, and he goes out and he elevates his game. And Evander Kane in the playoffs is 100 times more important than Austin Matthews, and it shouldn't be the way it is. We know hockey traditionally, even guys that didn't throw a hit like Gretzky, but they gave more of a crap. It seemed that they were surrounded by players who were playoff performers. So you bring that out of them. But I don't know, go back. I hate to use the example I always do, but with my own eyes, the oddest choice for captain or leader that I ever saw was Alexei Yashin. I feel bad saying that as a guy who didn't have NHL success like that guy did, but there were rumors, and I could just see a guy that they didn't seem to care that much, and I'm like, you're only going to get so far with a guy like that, and you can surround it as much as you want. And I hate saying it because Matthews and Marner are great for the community. They're not bad people. They love playing in Toronto. There's so many sports franchises in North America that would only love to have people that aren't cancers, that aren't going to come in and say something stupid on Instagram. And these guys are great citizens, and they're unreal hockey players. And it hurts me to have to say it, man, because I feel bad for them. But you can't keep going with it, and I think that's obvious now. But I was just disappointed as a hockey fan. Now, the other side of it is I got more reasons to cheer for Toronto as a Canadian, as knowing people in the organization. I mean, I've got good friends. I played with the Growlers last year. I take advantage of those tickets they give me. I know a lot of people in the Toronto organization. I don't know many in Florida other than Sean Thornton, who gives me tickets when I go down. Thank you, Sean. But for me as a hockey player, it's a good thing when I see teams like Florida win, because to me, that's Canadian hockey. That's the hockey that I know. That's Western League hockey. That's playoff hockey. And if it ever swings the way that playoff hockey is the Matthews-Marner version of it, right, then I guess my thinking will be something of the past. And you know, so be it. But for me, I see that, and the torch is still being carried. Like, you know, I love to see people that care, that go out and are willing to slash a guy or run a goalie or, you know, just go the extra mile to get it done. And I think, I know, going back to people like Nick Lidstrom, who learned from Bob Probert and Steve Eisenman and Chris Draper and whoever, right? You always these weren't bit players. These are main players on teams that carry you. And people rely on, you know, if you rely on leaders that don't necessarily know how to approach the situation, then it's going to be tough.
Yeah, well, I look at it, and the players aren't bad players, but unfortunately, collectively as a group, TR, they don't have a winning formula. That's been proven, right? And the four of them in Game 7s historically can't produce. Nylander's been the best by far. He has at least 2 goals in the 6 games, 4 points. But like Matthews has no goals, Marner has no goals, Tavares has 1 goal. You know, Matthews is a half a point a game player. Marner is a third a point a game player. Like, they're not good enough. Tavares has 1 point. Now he only played 4 games because he wasn't there the first time, and then he was injured one of the other games. But the amount of excuses I saw for Toronto was mind blowing to me. Like, they got to change something because their core mix, TR, certain ingredients are needed to bake a cake. Now, there's some ingredients that are more important than the others. You got 2 cups of flour, and you might only have 1 teaspoon of baking soda. But you need the right mix. And Toronto doesn't have the right mix with those 4. None of them are like an emotional leader who can elevate their game. So they're going to need other guys. They could probably be better in a different format maybe, but the 4 of them together, no chance it works. It hasn't worked. It's never going to work.
No, and here's the thing. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I agree with what you're saying, and I think 4 of them could be champions. I do, in a different environment, like Phil Kessel. You know, I really do. And Toronto can, you know, it's one thing to not have it in you, you know, that drive or whatever it is. I shouldn't say drive, man, but I don't want to make it simplify this. But for it, like you said, you're baking a cake. You need all the ingredients. I don't think that these people can't win. I mean, John Tavares has been consistent over the course of his contract, and he gets goals in front of the cage. But he comes to the playoffs, boom, and this happens. And Matthews is sometimes non-existent, and Marner. But you're right, like as a collective group, and that happened, I don't know, it happens all over sports. Brooklyn Nets a few years ago. You're baffled, and it doesn't make any sense because you're looking at it, but unfortunately, the sum of the parts they just don't add up to the group as a whole. So, yeah, the only thing to do, right? The only thing to do is dismantle it. Now, again, I think that it wouldn't surprise me at all if either one of those players, I don't think Matthews is going anywhere and probably not Nylander, but let's just say hypothetically, they all went somewhere different. It wouldn't surprise me if they won. It's just this group, you got to change it up, and you got to change the ingredients of that cake. That's the way it is. They're all great players, and just can't get it done as a group.
TR, who do you like in the East and the West? Who's going to meet in the Cup final?
Wow. Well, I remember Jason Gregor picking Carolina out of the East at the beginning of last season, a year and a half ago. And since thought that was an odd pick at the time, and since I've been paying attention, I think they're not only a good team, I think they're a great team, and they just overcame that whole Rantanen nonsense. I mean, everybody was, including me, I couldn't believe the move, but as absurd as it seems now, they're there, aren't they? And I think it's going to go 7 games, but I'm telling you, I don't know if I think I'm taking Florida. I'm taking Florida, and not only I do slightly think they're going to win, but I'm kind of hoping. I love that kind of game. I'm not saying Carolina don't have it, but I love to watch Florida play, man. It's a bit of a throwback, and when they added Tkachuk, there's many layers to this, but a couple of years ago when Tkachuk went over there and Huberdeau went the other way, again, nothing against Huberdeau. Great hockey player, man. Great hockey player. But that changed everything. And I mean, guys like Ekblad are out there elbowing people on the offensive, like starting fights, running goalies. I don't remember him to be like that when he was playing in junior and he was rated so high. You know, the team is, you talk about leadership. So I think Carolina are great. And part of me all year has thought these guys are underrated and they might do something, but I'm not taking them ahead of Florida.
And Oilers, Dallas, you're taking Oilers, right?
Oh, I got Oilers in 7, yeah.
All right. TR, have a great one. Enjoy voiceovers, and we'll chat you Thursday after game 1.
Yes, and by the way, I'll be in Calgary the 23rd and 24th, Friday and Saturday. We're doing Alzheimer's Classic. We're going to raise some money. Follow my Instagram, Terry Ryan 2020. Donate. We're looking to raise a lot, and there's myself and 15 NHL legends, so it should be fun.
All right. Well, Calgary's had a lot of time, so they should be ready to see some hockey again. So it's been a while. So.
Okay. Thank you, Connor. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Edmonton. I'll see you guys again soon.
There you go. It's Terry Ryan. Now, when we come back, Dave McCarthy will join us on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Find the perfect tractor for any job at Edmonton Kubota. Their massive selection of compact tractors has something for everyone, whether you're tackling small tasks or big projects. And right now, take advantage of 0% financing for up to 72 months. It's never been easier to get the power and reliability you need. Come down to Edmonton Kubota today and drive away with a tractor that's just right for you. Edmonton Kubota, where your perfect tractor awaits.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Get moving with Volvo and save big for summer during the May sales event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's the final month to lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Don't miss the midweek showdown on Wednesday, May 28th at 7 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca.
Work hard, get dirty, build better communities. If that sounds like a good day's work to you, GS Construction wants you to be part of their team. Right now, GS Construction is looking to hire experienced top men and pipe layers for underground sewer and water work. So if you know your way around a trench, take pride in doing the job right, and want to be part of a crew that has your back, let's get to work together. Apply now at gsconstruction.ca.
Ready for the ultimate golf getaway? Stay and play at Wolf Creek Golf Resort. Relax in the beautiful HV Lodge. Their spacious country cabin right off the 9th fairway, perfect for groups with 2 bedrooms, private bathrooms, and a cozy living room overlooking the course. Packages start at just $185 per player. Prefer the outdoors? Book your spot at the Wolf Creek RV Resort, nestled among the fairways. Visit golfnorth.ca/Wolf Creek and make your stay and play dream a reality today.
Blue Jays baseball is back on Sports 1440. This Saturday and Sunday, listen live to the broadcast of Canada's favorite team. Proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball. We are Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team in Old Strathcona have special training dedicated to reducing the impact of cancer care before, during, and after your diagnosis. From lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, they can help. Learn more at leadingedgephysio.com.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.330. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Tuesday. A little rain out there. We need lots of it. Man, we could take a whole day of a soaker. Why not? Wasn't the long weekend. It's not next weekend. Perfect. Rain on Tuesday, Wednesdays. Nice. Could just, be simple. Not sure it ever works that way, but that would be great. Now, let's go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McD's have a new low price starting at just $1 plus tax for a small. Great tasting coffee every day. Must be McCafe, as Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM joins us as the third round of the NHL playoffs begins tonight, Florida and Carolina. Before we get to the third round, Dave, rinse, wash, repeat, and that's what it was. It was, they get close, they can get it to 7 games, and then when the 7th game comes, Marner, Matthews, Nylander, Tavares, historically, they don't do much, right? Matthews doesn't have a goal in the 6 game sevens. Marner doesn't have a goal. Nylander does have 2. They have 4 points. Tavares has 1 goal, 1 point. They've combined, Dave, in 6 games for 10 points in those 7 game series. And that's your biggest guys, close to 40 million bones, and they're getting a whole lot of nothing. Too many game sevens for the Leafs.
I mean, you've done the math. I've done the math. There's really nothing else anybody can say about it than that. And it's indefensible beyond that, right? Because if you want to win anything, and the way you build your team is centered around the production at an elite level from 4 individuals that for the good portion of their tenure in Toronto have been allocated collectively half the salary cap, you cannot expect to win unless those guys deliver. If they do not, you are screwed at the end of the day. Doesn't matter what your depth is or all of that. If those guys cannot find a way to deliver when it matters most, when all of the chips are on the line, you are in a tight spot. And that's what happened again here this year. And it continues to be infuriating because you see signs that they can play a way that they need to play in order to have success, like Game 6. I give them credit. I thought they were done after that 6-1 loss in Game 5. But they go down, they play a great Game 6. You think, okay, they're feeling good about themselves. They've given themselves another chance. And then somehow they deliver a performance equally, if not worse, than the performance they delivered in Game 5. And further to that, within the game, in Game 7, they started out horrendously. They didn't get a shot till the first period was over half played. They were being outshot 7-0 at the time. They somehow get away with that. They kill off a penalty for too many men on the ice at the end of the first, and they go into the first intermission 0-0. They got away with it. And then somehow in the second period, they come out, and again, they're even worse than they were at the start of the first. It's hard to explain. Really, I have no answer. The coach, Craig Berube, had no answer. So how the hell do you expect me to have an answer at this point? It's confounding that it really tends to be the same script year over year, where when all of the marbles are pushed to the middle of the table, the guys who they depend on most do not find a way to get it done.
Yeah, and change is coming. There's no doubt about it. It has to come, whether or not it's just Marner or Tavares, one of the two. I'm not going to get rid of all four of them. That would be foolish. You still need some skill, and they got skill, but that mix, it doesn't work, man. The cake never rises. They don't have the right ingredients, so they'll move on, and we'll see. I'll say this about Mitch Marner. Good player, Dave, but he's not a goal scorer. He's never been a goal scorer. And if you pay guys $12 million, they got to be goal scorers. He's not a goal scorer. And I don't care what team he goes to. He'll put up some points. It's going to be hard for me to see him as a big-time difference maker because he doesn't score goals, right? Like, how many guys now, a defenseman, sure. But when you look at the biggest forwards, you're like, key goals, Patrick Kane, right? You go back when he won, Sidney Crosby, Jenny Malkin, go down the list. Obviously, Rantanen and McKinnon. You throw in Matthew Tkachuk, McDavid, Draisaitl, etc. To me, the risk for any team signing Marner is you're paying huge money for a forward who doesn't score many goals.
Yeah, I mean, look, he will help a team if he signs with them who hasn't made the playoffs in a while, that's looking to make the playoffs. He'll help in that regard. And there's a number of teams out there that are in that position where it's wild to say, but they would envy what the Leafs have had the last 9 years, where they're automatic in the playoffs. The odd time they win around, they usually get 3 or 4, if not 5 or 6 extra home dates in the playoffs. For a lot of teams, they would envy that. And Mitch Marner will help in that regard because I've said it for years. He's an all-time regular season player. He's unbelievable in the regular season when every inch of ice is not contested. And, you can go through, let's be honest, some games on a Monday night in January where quite honestly, they're no hitters, right? And it's not an indictment on Mitch, but his game is tailored toward that type of hockey. It's why he was so good in the Four Nations at 3-on-3. Everyone, finally he's had a moment. I hate to be that guy, but it's 3-on-3 there in the overtime. Okay, talk to me when you score a goal at 5-on-5. It's different. It's different. So, look, if that's what you'd like to get to as an organization, then by all means. But if I were a general manager that was looking to win the Stanley Cup, and there are some teams that are in a position where they've made the playoffs a number of years and they're looking to take that next step, Mitch Marner would not be on my list of guys that I'm interested in signing this offseason. Just because you're quote-unquote the best guy available in free agency should not mean that you get the most money possibly available. And if he's going to command 13 plus, and all it takes is one, and I think there will be one, good for Mitch. Good for Mitch. Bad for the team, because I don't think you can win with Mitch making that kind of money. If he's a guy that's making, with where the cap is going 10, and you can build a team around him and he can play a role on the power play and you can start him in the offense and all that type of stuff. Yeah, sure. But to bring him in at that kind of cake, I think we've seen here time and again in Toronto over the last number of years, he's a big reason why the Leafs make the playoffs every year. But because of what he is paid, and it is an overpayment, sorry, straight facts, it is. He's also a big reason why they don't go further than they would like. One, because his game does not tailor toward how playoff hockey is played. He has not shown a willingness to play how playoff hockey is played, and 2, he takes up so much of the salary cap on a percentage basis that when his game starts to go south, the Leafs do not have enough depth to help try to insulate the drop-off that will come from his production in the playoffs.
Dave A. McCarthy from SiriusXM joins us. Dave, Oilers and Stars for the second consecutive season. They'll go at it. They got Heiskanen back now. He played 3 games against Winnipeg. In Game 6, he looked excellent, very mobile. Him and Harley, really good D pair. Dallas, though, it's funny. A lot of people still say Dallas has better depth. I'm like, well, they might have in the regular season, but they sure as hell don't in the playoffs. It's not even close, right? Like, Dallas is relying heavily on their Finnish mafia line. Do you believe that the Stars' depth can just suddenly snap their fingers and find their scoring touch? Or does Edmonton's depth give them a significant advantage because everybody in Edmonton seems to be scoring?
Well, I don't know if you saw the tweet that I sent out about 20 minutes before I jumped on. I have a very, very large proclamation to deliver here on today's show. I know some of your listeners have been giving me a hard time. Does Dave ever pick Edmonton? Dave is picking Edmonton to win this series in 6 over the Dallas Stars for the point that you made. Edmonton has continued to get better each game that they have played, really since Game 3 of the first round. We talked about it last week. The response they showed in Game 4 against Vegas after that heartbreaker really, really was impressive to me. Like, it looked like at that point they had turned a corner and really got their game together, where it could have allowed Vegas to get back into the series. And it wasn't just they squeaked through and picked up a win. They put their foot down right from the word go and said, no. This is not going to happen. We're going to command this game from start to finish. And it was their series from that point on. And they're getting contributions from all throughout the lineup. Adam Henrique is playing well. Connor Brown is playing great. Evander Kane has made an important impact. Trent Frederick has played well. They're getting depth. And so, look, Dallas, on paper, I do like their depth. I really do. It hasn't shown itself thus far in the playoffs. Now, could it? I think it could. Like, I don't see why Jamie Benn couldn't start to chip in, or Matt Duchene can't get hot for a little bit. Or a guy like Mason Marchment can't chip in a little bit more than he has. Or Jason Robertson can't find his footing after returning from injury now that he's, 6 or 7 games in since his return. It's possible, absolutely. But going into this series, I think you have to be more confident if you're the Edmonton Oilers in terms of what you have with your depth based on how they've played over the last series and a half here. So, like, the only area where I think Dallas has a distinct advantage is between the pipes. Jake Ottinger, I think he's a big reason why Dallas has got to where they are, given the lack of depth scoring as we just articulated. I think he out-goaltended Connor Hellebuyck. I think he out-goaltended Mackenzie Blackwood in a first round of the playoffs. So he's been really good. And as good as Stuart Skinner has been, I'm still placing a bet on Ottinger before Skinner. But outside of that, I like the way the 18 skaters are playing for Edmonton better than I do the way Dallas's 18 guys are playing.
That's going to be a heck of a series. The Oilers have, 4 of their last 7 games might have been 4 of their best defensive games I've ever seen. Like, the opposition's getting 3 and 4, 5 high danger chances a game. That's really good defensive play. And Stuart Skinner seems he just, he needs to sit out a few games, then he comes back and he's great. And I say that somewhat tongue in cheek, but also somewhat seriously, because that's what we've seen.
Seems to be his routine.
What about the Panthers and the Hurricanes? Because I look at the Hurricanes, I'm like, God, they really shut down Washington. But New Jersey, I thought that was the easiest first round pick of anybody to pick Carolina to win. What do you make of the Canes? Are they jumping up significantly in talent, or are we underrating them because of how easily they dispatched of Washington?
I think we might be underrating Carolina to an extent. Like, Washington was a team that was able to score with proficiency during the regular season. It's not like last year where they squeaked in and could barely score. Right? So, I don't look at Washington as like some also-ran, just happy to be there, got lucky to be there kind of team. They scored, and yet Carolina neutralized them very effectively. So I think they're feeling good about themselves right now, and I think they deserve credit for how they handled Washington, and I think they deserve credit for how they handled New Jersey too. They only played 10 games to get to the third round, right? It's not like they limped into the first round and took a while to get going and had to grind it out in 7 games. Like they were like, no, you're out of here in 5. Like let's not get carried away. We want rest, and then they played really well against Washington. Look, they're a volume shot team as they've shown in the playoffs. They get pucks to the net, and I find simplicity at this time of the year works, right? Like if you can get pucks to the net, and a lot of them, eventually the goalie on the other team is a human being, and he's not going to be 100%. One is going to sneak through, and if they can play as defensively proficient as they have, 2 should be enough at times for Carolina, 2 if not 3 goals. So look, Florida, they play a really good style, and when they get to their game, they're a tough team to beat. Now, in looking at how they got past Toronto, Matthew Tkachuk really didn't make much of an impact at all, which is wild to say. Now, he is hurt. I've seen him doing his work before the game and going through what he needs to go through to get himself to an ability where he can even get on the ice. He is not himself right now. So that's a huge advantage for Carolina. You look at the guys who did the bulk of the damage against Toronto. Primarily, it was the third line of Luostarinen, Bradley Marchand, who is the owner of the Maple Leafs, by the way. Like seriously. And the third guy I'm forgetting on that line right now. Lundell, that's right. And the fourth line of Gadjevich, Greer, and whoever, they did a lot of work. So look, Barkov, Reinhart, Verhaeghe, they were okay, but they didn't dominate offensively. If they can keep those guys under control, and Freddie Anderson can deliver the goaltending that he has throughout the playoffs, which has been really good, I'm going to go Carolina. I think it's a long series, but I'm going to go Carolina in this one as the time where they finally push through to the Cup final.
And lastly, Dave, was Brad Marchand openly auditioning to get signed in Toronto? Or like I found, him and Paul Maurice did. The fans are really hard. And everybody's hard. They're a good team. Like, oh my God, I remember, in the regular season when the Oilers were like the worst team in the league for almost a decade. And so, you know what? They're a good team. And I'll be like, what are you talking about? No, they're not. They're not a good team. They've been a terrible team for a decade. And so, well, you got to respect them. They got some this and that. And I just felt like that was when the other team, after you've lost again, starts telling you that you're good, it's basically a pity party.
Yeah.
That's what it came across as.
Yeah, I mean, like that was right out of the old respect in the handshake line routine from the Leafs a couple of years ago, right? Like
they respect. Oh, that was a classic.
Oh my God, right? Like if I'm hearing Bradley and Paul going on like they were, and I'm in the Leafs upper management, I'm just like, oh, Nix, please, like you're killing us here. And I think the fact that they felt like they were in a position to speak like that shows you how convincingly they know they beat this Leafs team. Paul Maurice saying it was closer than you think. I don't know if he's telling the truth, though. He can't honestly believe that because they caved them in through 20 of the first 30 minutes of that game. And but for a partial breakaway from Steven Lorentz and another breakaway from Scott Lawton, who love those guys. But if you're going to give up a breakaway to anybody, let it be them. I mean, that's advantage goalie right there if you're Bobrovsky. And then it was 3-0 before you knew it. They caved them in. Come on now. But it was pretty damn emasculating, I think, if you're the Leafs to hear them going on like that. And Bradley's, I wrote it in my piece. He is the Grim Reaper that often appears in Toronto in the springtime, here and then and now, to vanquish the dreams of Leaf fans, because he's beaten them 5 times in game 7s. And he's like, I really haven't even played that good. Okay, well, 2 of the assists that you've had in game 7s gone by have been assists on the game winner. And 3 points the other night. I mean, he was the best player on the ice. He's the best player on the ice. If I don't know if he was openly auditioning to come here, But I will tell you that if I were the Maple Leafs, I would be knocking on his door, asking him if he'd be interested in coming here to try to fix it. Because what they need is exactly a guy like him. The fact that he was going on about how, pressure? No, this is a big moment. It's not a high pressure game. It's game 7 in the second round.
The response, because it was so true.
Right? Like if you've gone long and you've played deep in a cup final and you were up 3-0 and you get forced to go to a game 7 with the actual cup on the line, that's high pressure. This isn't high pressure. I'd win these games for fun. And I think a lot of what ails the Leafs is between the ears, because I refuse to believe it's that they don't care. It's something that clicks up here when they know they're right there. They freeze up and they stop playing the way they can play. And I think, a guy like Bradley would help to tell them, just play. Because
they need a different mix in the room. There's no question. Davey, great stuff, my man. We will chat with you next Tuesday. Have a good week. And actually, I'll talk to you Sunday on the brunch.
Right on, buddy. See you.
There you go. That's Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. We'll take a quick break. We have some basketball. We got Struddy, Spec, and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
In 1973, deep in the basement of an Edmonton family home, an elite team of specialized forces came together to form Action Electrical.
Action Electrical Divisions, assemble.
Projects team reporting.
Service team reporting.
Testing team reporting.
Energy team reporting.
Supercharged with skills in their electrical fields and grounded by strong family values. Facing an electrical menace? Call on the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Truck Month is on now at GMC, and it's one of the best times to get behind the wheel. Right now, get a $5,000 cash purchase credit on 2025 Sierra HD models with a 13.4-inch diagonal center touchscreen, an available Duramax 6.6-liter turbo diesel V8 engine with 470 horsepower. Plus, the most trailering assistance technologies in its class. Sierra has some serious hauling power and is the only off-road ready HD. Truck Month is on now. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Legend has foretold of a smoothie so delicious and refreshing that it could quench the thirst of a fire-breathing dragon.
But it's also a great pick-me-up after a workout. The new Dragon Slaya smoothie from Booster Juice, a legendary blend of dragon fruit and mangoes, destined to be your next obsession. Try it today along with the new Dragon Booster Ball and the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer.
3 epic menu items to conquer your cravings. Booster Juice, Canadian-born, relenting since 1999.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take 1 for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price, starting at just $1 plus tax. For a small, great tasting coffee every single day. Must be
Portions of this hour brought to you by Action Electrical. They're the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions in project, service tag, and solar for commercial or residential. Contact them today at actionelectrical.net.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$3.54. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Of course, sports1440.ca. You can listen to us, the Gregor Show. As always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province of PlayAlberta.ca. They also just teamed up with the Elks. Of course, you now have a Play Alberta field down at Commonwealth Stadium. So giving back in the community at PlayAlberta.ca. We have lots of texts to get to, 833-401-1440. We switched things up. Paul Sir's going to join us in the 5 o'clock hour now. Little audibles. We're going to have Evander Kane coming up after 4 o'clock. Conversation I had with him before the Orders jumped on a plane to head out to Dallas. We got Struddy. Speck will join us from the Big D. Hey, Gregor, do you think quality of competition in the East has a lot to do with Toronto losing regardless of players? They've won 6 of 9 last Stanley Cups. Florida last year, then Tampa 3 years before, dominating teams from David. Well, David, when Tampa Bay won in 2020, Toronto lost to Columbus. When Tampa Bay won in 2021, Toronto lost to Montreal. In 2022, Colorado won. 2023, Vegas won. That was the year Toronto actually won a round in 2023. So, hey, there's good teams, but you got to beat good teams to win. And so they've lost to Boston, who hasn't won the Cup, and they lost to Boston, 4 times? They've lost to Columbus, Montreal. Like, Montreal had that Cinderella run. That was the year they were Canadian division. And they haven't been in the playoffs since. And Toronto couldn't beat them. And oh, by the way, Toronto led 3-1 in that series. Everybody forgets that. 3-1. And then where'd the big guys go? Hello, Bueller? Could anybody see them? Like, they were ghosts. Like, ghosts beyond ghosts in that series against Montreal. It was wild. So there's good teams everywhere. And eventually you got to beat a good team. You know, Toronto was up 2-0 in the series and couldn't find a way to close it out. It's unfortunate for them, but that's how it is for the Maple Leafs. They find a different way to lose and get over the hump. They just, like, look at how many games, like, they had a record when they were in the driver's seat. In the driver's seat. Right? In elimination games, where they could eliminate, they were 2 now because they finally won. They were 1-12, and then they're 2-12. Now they're 2-13. Like, I'm sorry, I can't just say, well, there's other good teams. Well, then they're just not that good of a team, right? That's kind of how I would see it. So, hey, Gregor, what about goal share? What about goal share? You want to find a different excuse? Great. So, what was their goal share in games 5, 6, and 7 of the series? I'll look it up. But because if the series was 2-2, what you did early and so if you're one game, you're on the ice for 4 goals and none against, and you win the game, you only win 1 game. So you in the playoffs, you got to break it down, your analysis on a game by game basis. If one guy has 5 points in one game and doesn't get any points in the other 6 and finishes with 5 points in 7 games, people are like, oh, not bad series. Really? Or did he have one really good game and then was a ghost in the other 6? So to me, you have to look at everything on that. And, oh, yeah, they had a good goal for whatever. What was their goals for? Because I'm going to pull it up. in their last 3 games. Right? And you can't just use 5-on-5 when you're talking about guys who are on the power play. Right? Like at some point they got to do something on the power play, don't they? Can't just be like, well, we're okay 5-on-5 and then they never score. So I'm looking quickly at the Maple Leafs just because now you got me curious on where they're at in those games, because it does, for me, it does matter, right? It matters a lot. You can't just say, well, what were we in the first few games and our goal for share, yada, yada. What was it in the final 3 games? So here we go. John Tavares, you know what his goal for share was? 0. He got outscored 4-0. Austin Matthews outscored 4-1. Mitch Marner outscored 4-1. William Nylander outscored 3-1. So if anybody tries to bring up goal share for the Maple Leafs, point to games 5, 6, and 7, where it matters. And where were they? Ghosts. I'm sorry. Can't do it. Hey guys, remember when people in Toronto said Matthews is as good as McDavid? Yeah. Hey, I still remember the day when I went on Annie Petrillo's show and said the comparison McDavid should end. The conversation was, is it Draisaitl or Matthews? And they freaked out at that. Now look. Yeah, Matthews, you know what? Good goal scorer in the regular season. What about the playoffs? So, hey guys, the goal share question comes from Low Tide arguing for not blaming Matthews earlier today. Well, LT will be on our show on Friday. We'll have that conversation because his goal share was 20% in games 5, 6, and 7 when the series was tied 2 games apiece. So I would say that's not great. Maybe it's just me, but I would say that's not what you want from one of your leaders. When you're in a good series, hey man, and you don't have to, it's impossible to step up every game. I understand that. But don't you have to do some games, right? It can't just be like, well, you know what? I had a good game, but you know what? Those other games, they're pretty hard. I couldn't do it, right? Actually, games 4 to 7, his goal share was 20%. So it's getting worse if you spread it out even longer. Hey, Gregor, looking at Dallas, if you were Knobloch, who would you put out against Rantanen's line? Nick, it's a great question. Well, I would put out Draisaitl's line because I'm like, if Draisaitl's line breaks even against their top line, I'm doing cartwheels because that's the only line that's scoring. So yeah, I'm going to put Draisaitl's line out because that means McDavid's going to go up against the Johnson line, or he's going to go up against Sam Steele's line, or he's going to go up against Matt Duchene's line all day. All day I would take that matchup. So I think Dallas at home, now they're going to want Heiskanen and Harley out against McDavid for sure. And as they should. So, but if I could get Draisaitl out against Rantanen's line and Podkolzin and them, they're pretty reliable defensively, I'd take the odds on that. I don't even care if they score any goals. But if you break even, that's a huge win. Huge win. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Booster Juice. They take flight with the new Dragon Fruit lineup. Introducing the Dragon Slayer Smoothie, the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer, and the Dragon Booster Ball. Conquer your cravings at Booster Juice.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final, just over 2 hours away, as the Canes taking on the Panthers from Raleigh. Off the ice, got the Bruins announcing that they've signed General Manager Don Sweeney to a 2-year contract extension in the association. Western Final gets going between the Thunder and the Timberwolves from OKC. Tip-off set for 6:30 in that one. Off the court, Memphis Grizzlies center Zach Edey named to the NBA's all-rookie first team today. Major League Baseball, Jays kicking off a series against the Padres in Toronto. First pitch set for 5:07. You also have the Rangers in New York taking on the Yankees. Red Sox up against the Mets. Phillies in Colorado. Dodgers taking on the Diamondbacks. And the Athletics meet the Angels. PWHL League Championship Final Series. Minnesota takes on Ottawa. That gets going at 5 o'clock from TD Place. And from the NFL, earlier today, owners announced that they've voted to permit players to participate in flag football at the 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. The next step, negotiate players' associations with the national governing bodies. And from the WCF Hockey Championship, Canada knocked off Sweden 5-3 to win Group A. They'll play Denmark in the quarterfinals on Thursday. Coming up in Hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll hear a one-on-one that Jason had with Evander Kane. We'll be joined by Jason Strudwick and ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages is the ultimate destination for everything garage. Storage solutions and cabinets? Garage Superstore has it. Vehicle hoists? Got those too. Durable polyaspartic floor coatings? You bet. From mess to masterpiece, one garage at a time. And when it's time to eat, Traeger Grills brings the heat with wood-fired flavor that can't be beat. Need it? They've got it at Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages. Visit their massive 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th or garagesuperstore.ca.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
It's playoff time. Let's go. From pre- and post-game shows to analysis from Kevin, Lopeside, and Jason. This is going to be a fun run. For all things hockey, lock in to Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
I won't shave till we bring home the cup. And I like to do a shot for every playoff goal.
My jersey's not coming off until we're the city of champs again.
Want a playoff superstition that always wins? Pick up a bag of Wilhauk beef jerky for every game. Because when it comes to the playoffs, where there's a Wilhauk, there's a way.
Make every playoff game a Will Hockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't bring home the cup with salad.
With all the news about tariffs and price hikes coming our way, you have to be strategic with your money. St. Albert Dodge knows that and has some good news for you. Right now, all Ram 1500s are available with 0% financing for up to 72 months. So think about it. You can get into a brand new Ram 1500 right now at pre-tariff prices, while selection is still good, and pay 0 interest on your financing. That keeps more money in your pocket. And that's how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman. Are you ready, guys?
We were born ready. Heck yes, Nuge. Drop the beat. Legacy, Legacy. We freaking killed it, Nuge. That's what I'm talking about, Zachary Martin Hyman.
Nice guys. We're going to sell a lot of air conditioners.
Hey, doesn't Legacy offer no payments and no interest for a year on those?
Yeah. Well, thanks for the assist on the copy points there, Nuge.
It's just what I do.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
For a rock-solid start on all your
Instagram,
spring and summer
8-3
projects.
3 o'clock,
Bashot
Sports
Concrete
1440,
products.
Nation
From
YouTube.
concrete to septic tanks, precast water pads to outhouses, plus aggregates, landscaping supplies, and more. Renos Construction. Start planning right now at
Welcome back, Jason Gregor.
BashotConcrete.com or call 780-372-3854. That's 780-372-3854.
Welcome back, Jason
Family
Gregor.
owned and operated. Proudly serving Albertans since 1963. Bashot Concrete Products.
Your Cooperators Advisor can help your business do what you want it to. Like we have 2, actually 3, make that 4 locations plan. Talk to a local advisor today about small business insurance that sees your needs as anything but small.
Looking for a local Cooperators Advisor? Give Camrose Insurance Financial Solutions a call at 780-672-9251 and see the difference a personalized plan makes. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
This is TR. How you doing?
%30 off any regular price pizza when you use the code word 40Tuesday at the start of each order at papajohns.ca.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.409, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley with you. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. You listen on the app anywhere. We appreciate it. Radio Player, Stingray app. Also, Oilers Nation YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for watching and listening to the show. As always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where guess what, man? It's your one-stop shop. Lotteries, instants, live dealer, sports, casinos, NBA, NHL playoffs. Get it all at PlayAlberta.ca and Lotto Maxed. $30 million tonight. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. We're going to hear from Evander Kane momentarily. Caught up with the Oilers winger, who is having himself an excellent return to the lineup after missing the entire season. And I think Kane's exceeded a lot of expectations. He's come in, and you know what? He's averaging almost 16.5 minutes a game, being physical. He's producing. Him, Henrique, and Brown have found some real good chemistry as a line. And, that line's going to have to continue to score, especially with majority of these games being played 5-on-5. The Oilers don't take a lot of penalties. Well, they did, I guess, against LA a bit, but definitely down against Vegas. And then they're not getting a ton of power plays either. So they're going to have to continue to be good on 5-on-5, and they've been great. They lead the NHL in 5-on-5 goals. I mean, Dallas has actually been outscored overall in their games and have actually been outscored 22-20 5-on-5. Part of that is when they lose big. They have 5 losses. They've lost 4-0 in 3 separate games. They lost 5-1 in another game. So there's -16. And then they lost 7-4 in the other game. So they're -19 in their 5 losses. It's quite remarkable, really. And then they're obviously good in the games that they win. So we'll see which Dallas team shows up. Right? Jake Ottinger was quite good against the Winnipeg Jets. But the Oilers got to him last year. They'll try to get to him. Heiskanen's back now. So we'll see. Let's get to the Oil Report, brought to you by Volvo Cars. Edmonton, stop in. The May Day event is on right now at Volvo Cars. Edmonton, it's your final month where you can lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save an additional $3,000 at PlayAlberta.ca. And caught up with Evander Kane. And talked with him just about, the team success right now and how it's not only that everybody's contributing, it's everybody's got to have lots of offensive confidence and how powerful that can be for the group heading into Dallas.
Oh, I think it brings a much higher level of confidence. I think when you have belief that everybody can contribute up and down the lineup, and not only do you believe it, but you're seeing it, right? Because seeing is believing a lot of the time. So I think for us, as a group, as a team, we feel very confident that we can compete with anybody. Our depth can go up against anybody else's depth. I think even guys we have out of the lineup, they can come in and contribute. You saw it with Cappy. So for us, it's something that we know that's going to need to continue if we want to have the ultimate goal.
Playoffs is always about adjustments as much as in game as even in series. And the coaching staff and the players, you guys have
shown a real good ability to adjust to whatever the opposition's bringing, while at the same time doing what you're good at. So how do you balance saying we want to play what we want to do, but also counter what they're doing?
Yeah, I think the majority of the adjustments are subtle things, usually in the D zone, in terms of trying to defend a little bit better. I think offensively, even through the course of the season, when you're playing different teams every other night, you're doing, whether it's say we're going to send the weak side forward's going to slash, or the weak side forward's going to stay wide. Those are little things that I think you're going to get used to offensively in terms of making adjustments. And same things on the forechecks. Some certain teams like to rim pucks out. Other teams like to come to the strong side wall. So maybe having, a little bit stacked on the strong side to prevent them and get them doing something different. I think it's just different ways to try to get the puck back offensively. But once you have the puck, you're doing the same things over and over again and just trying to take what the other team gives you.
Coach Knobloch mentioned there's a fine line between the break. And it says, for whatever reason, sometimes you guys haven't come out as great as you'd want. How do you ensure that this break doesn't lead to a slow start?
Well, I think mentally is probably where, you kind of come out slow a little bit. It's not necessarily the physical thing. And I think the big difference between, some of the past breaks this year or this is the playoffs. So, I think, we've had 3 or 4 days off here, which has been nice. But, mentally, I think everybody was geared and ready to go and on point. And, we understand how important game one is. We were able to win it last year in Dallas. And, we're going to be looking to do the same thing.
Since you guys haven't played in many days, are you watching the other playoff games? Are you a guy, do you watch it? Does that keep you in it?
Well, I think you're watching other games. Like, of course, you watch the Dallas Winnipeg game because these are teams that you could be playing, right? So the interest is really there. And, there's not many games on TV anymore. So, it does give you something to do at night when the kids go down for bed. And I'm definitely watching.
I think some guys do, some guys don't, but he's watching, and they'll probably in Dallas tonight. They'll probably go for a team dinner or group dinners, and then they'll probably sit somewhere and watch that game, Carolina and Florida. Because hey, they're hockey fans like you; they like it, right? You focus and gets excited. You go have a good sleep, and away you go. This is not, as Brad Marchand says, hey, Game 7. It's not Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. It's Game 7. It's a big game, but this is Game 1 of a new series, and the Oilers have to be excited. And they've had a break. We'll see how they start. Now, I know that we got some texts. Hey, guys, don't you remember how the Oilers started bad against Florida after a week off? Here, I'm concerned that the same happens this year. Well, it's a fair point, although I do think we have to recognize that. Remember Game 1 against Florida last year? Edmonton played quite well. They just couldn't score. As Woodley had outlined to us before the series started here, there's the areas to shoot on Bobrovsky, and the Oilers didn't shoot on him. Right? They just... I think Edmonton was a game. Maybe I'm mixing up my games, but no, I thought Edmonton outshot them almost 2-1, and they couldn't score. They got shut out in that game, but it was more so from a lack of just, and Skinner only gave up 2 goals, right? Because one was an empty netter. If I remember Game 1, Edmonton just didn't bury any of their chances. They kept shooting on the ice on Bobrovsky. So, Woodley said if you look at games 4 to 6. And where they shot, it was like they listened to the pre-scout for those games, but didn't earlier. So, well, hey, you get down. It is fair. Even the coach is concerned about it. He mentioned it. So, what will they do different? The one thing the Oilers have shown is they're a fairly resilient bunch. They'll figure it out, right? Like even last year, they started to win Game 1s, right? 50% of them, which is a massive improvement after losing 7 in a row. Right? They won Game 1 against LA, won Game 1 against Dallas on the road. So that's good. This year, 50% again. They won Game 1 and Game 2 on the road. So against Vegas. And we'll see how they do against Dallas. It's crucial. It's not 100% that you need to win Game 1 if you want to win, but it would sure help them. And I think for this team, you just want to try to build on the confidence that you've gained in those last 2 games against Vegas, because they got to be feeling really, really good about yourself. I like this question from Eric. Hey, guys, let's say Wendell Clark was 25 and he was on the Leafs instead of Marner. Would the results be different from Eric? Oof. It's a fantastic hypothetical question. So everybody else is on the team. It's just Marner is out for Wendell Clark. Oh, man. Wendell Clark, that guy was a gamer in the playoffs. Absolute gamer in the playoffs. I think, would they have won every Game 7? No. It's one guy. He's not going to win. He's not going to change everything for you. But I think having a 25-year-old Wendell Clark in their lineup would have made a significant difference, right? Like you just look at his playoff, numbers, especially when he was in Toronto. 93, 10 goals in 21 games, 9 goals in 18 games, 6 goals in 13 games, 5 goals in 10 games. Like they won rounds, and he scored. He scored big goals in Toronto. Now he left Toronto. He's a little bit older, wasn't really the same player. But if I'm talking young Wendell Clark, oh God, yeah. He would add a physical element. I think he would be able to grab some of his teammates by the scruff and look him in the eyes and say, "You got to play harder." And they'd follow him, right? He was a leader, no question. So, yeah, no doubt in my mind, the results would have been a few games. Completely different players. Mitch Marner is a more productive player in the regular season. There's no doubt about it. But come playoff time, like you look at Wendell's numbers. So in 93, he had 17 goals in 66 games in the regular season. Then he had 10 goals in 21 games. Now, the next year he had 46 goals. That was his best season. Continued with 9 and 18, right? Wendell had scored 30 goals twice, 46. Like he was a bigger goal scorer than Mitch Marner ever was as just a goal scorer. Mitch Marner, a way better playmaker, no question in my mind. But I've argued in Toronto, like I say, when you're baking a cake, you need different ingredients. And not every ingredient has the equal amount, but they have equal importance to make it work. And Toronto has not had anybody who's in their top skill who's got a real fight to their game. They just don't. Do any of them battle and compete like McDavid or Draisaitl or McKinnon or Rantanen or Crosby or Malkin or Taves or Kane, Kopitar. Go down the list. Right, go down the list. David Pasternak, Brad Marchand. Skilled guys. Look at their production in the postseason. And then you look at Toronto's. And please don't ever buy into the fans are hard. Give me a break. We'll return. Gentleman who's a huge Leafs fan, Jason Strudwick. He'll join us next. The Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Use the promo code GREG50, Gregor50, and get a free $50 play at PlayAlberta.ca.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
Are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Get ready to revolutionize your job site with Edmonton Kubota's game-changing compact construction equipment. From mini excavators and skid steers to track loaders, carriers, and utility vehicles, they have a model to fit every need, all powered by legendary Kubota diesel engines. These machines are built for performance and reliability. Transform your work with Edmonton Kubota's top-of-the-line compact equipment. Visit them today and see why they're the name you can trust for power and precision.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Are you tossing and turning all night and stiff and sore the next morning? If your sleep is suffering, it's time to visit the Brick Mattress Store. Their sleep experts will help you find the right support for a restful night's sleep. Back sleeper, side sleeper, hot or cold, there is a perfect mattress for you. Plus, with next day delivery, your best night's sleep could be tomorrow. Check out the Brick Mattress Store locations in Spruce Grove, South Edmonton, St. Albert, Leduc, and start waking up refreshed.
Get moving with Volvo and save big for summer during the May sales event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's the final month to lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
I take possession of my commercial space in 3 months. I need lighting. I need a fire alarm. I need data. I need a generator. I need panels.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Projects team reporting. We design, build, and construct all the electrical systems for your projects. Need everything to work right? Get the Action Electrical project team on your site.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
I'm not just a person who works on the roads. I'm a mom. When I'm out here doing my job, my kids are waiting for me at home. When drivers don't slow down or move over, it makes a risky job even more dangerous. So please, when you see flashing lights, slow down, move over if you can. Help us all get home safe.
Learn more at alberta.ca/roadworkersafety. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair. They'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast.
Visit drvanceelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
If you change your mind, take a chance on the coaching line. Honey, I'm still free.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site heavy equipment service? Rain or shine, Japa's service department is here for you. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Oh, that's fitting. Will that be Mitch Marner's walkout song on July 1st for free agency? Take a chance on me. What will you get? You get a guy to help you make the playoffs. Can you get a guy to help you win the playoffs? We'll wait and see. Maybe. We'll find out, but he'll be a playmaker, not necessarily a shooter. That's for sure. Oilers Stars, game 1 tomorrow night. We do have Florida, Carolina. Please, 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 please. I hope the game's more entertaining than the Carolina-Washington series. I got to think it is. You know, Florida always seems to way to bring some energy and oomph to the game. So I think it should be a good game. Jacob Slavin, as a defenseman, that guy he's worth the price of admission, man. He's a hell of a defender. So we'll watch that. You know that Bennett and the boys are going to be running after him, so it should be a hell of a series. Let's get to Struds On, brought to you by Action Electrical, one of Alberta's most diversified electrical contractors with 4 divisions, from solar to tag to projects and service. They got it all at actionelectrical.net. Oh, by the way, Friday is when we will make the draw to see who wins the $15,000 solar system for their home, courtesy of Action Electrical.
The Jason Gregor Show presents Struds On.
I don't believe in tea bags. I use loose leaf tea. It is so much better than the tea bags. I'll eat tea bags. I'll
Struds On.
I'm not a huge DJ guy. I mean, I guess if you hand me a couple glow sticks and a tight white t-shirt that I can get wet, maybe I'd be into it.
Struds On.
There's a lone steakhouse I used to go to down in Kentucky, and they had bowls of peanuts. I wasn't sucking on those ones. Yeah, I mean, you need to have clean nut. I'm talking about the kind you get in a bag at an Elks game. You know what I mean?
It's time for Struds On.
Struddy? Oh, babe. Have you been on Toronto since? Because, my God, I was blown away. Like, they will take excuse making to a new level. It's fantastic.
I didn't get the offer. They didn't want me. They'll never have me on when the Leafs are losing and the Oilers are winning. So when the Oilers start losing, that's when I'll get the tap.
Well, let's start with the Oilers and the Dallas Stars. And what are your thoughts? Keys, Oilers shots. What do you think? What do you like about this upcoming series?
The Stars have had two really tough series. And specifically the last one, the Jets pounded them. A lot of physicality. So I think that, for the Oilers, they can take advantage of that, what the Jets started by continuing to be physical, right? Getting hits on key players. I'm not too worried about running Jamie Benn, but, make it harder for Harley, make it harder for Heiskanen, continue to make it hard for Robertson, Wyatt Johnson, those skilled players. Finish your checks on them, right? Make their life hard. I think any return of Ekholm would be huge. I think he helps the PK, right? There's a guy that during the regular season when he was healthy, he killed a lot of penalties. And think of last year, him and Vinny in the playoffs, how well they did. So I think his return would really help. But those are two things I think that are pretty important for others. Obviously, can't control Ekholm, but they can definitely control how they work over some of the skilled players of Dallas.
Yeah, well, and hey, we saw that the Oilers. Like you look against Vegas, Struddy. Vegas came in the number one team in the NHL with goals off the rush, and Edmonton completely took that away from them in that series, especially the last few games. Right. Like Vegas, really in 3 of their 4 wins, Edmonton virtually gave them nothing. And now Dallas, second highest scoring team off the rush, but they're not even they're not a quick team, Struds. Like the way Edmonton's playing, I look at them and say, hey, like Dallas is going to have to alter their game, I think, to have success unless the Oilers just start turning the puck over. Yeah, so that's well, there's 2 parts to that. One is your decisions with the puck at both blue lines. And this is something we've talked about many times. Yes.
What's the risk versus the reward? Think back to, I think it was game 5 when Marner for the Leafs just throws a backhand hope pass up the middle. Like, well, what's the best outcome there? What maybe a connected pass, but the risk isn't worth that reward. So those are the types of plays I'm talking about. Do not engage in that type of play. Second are the D-man pinches. If you're going to pinch, you got to arrive at the same time as the puck and make sure the puck stays there and or the body. So the choices on your pinches are massive for the Edmonton Oilers. If they can do those, just be solid in those 2 areas, that reduces line rushes against by quite a bit.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Jason Strudwick joins us from Got Your Back podcast. If you're Chris Knobloch, and even in Vegas for game 5, Struds, he did get the Draisaitl line out against Eichel fair amount. Do you put Draisaitl out against the Heinz line because then frees up McDavid to go against any of the other 3 lines?
100%. I want him if they want that, if they want, because Leon's a lot of things, but he's very cocky and he thinks that he can shut down and be better than everyone. And I love that about him. I wish I had more of that when I had played. So he wants to play against Mikko. I'm sure he'd welcome that challenge to be, to do it his way and limit, just saw off against those guys. And then there should be no fear of for McDavid playing against Duchesne or who's the other center, Wyatt Johnson.
Yeah.
Or Sam Steele. That's you're very welcome. And then even past that, do you feel comfortable having Henrique out there against anybody else? 100% you do. Those guys are going to play heavy. They're going to play, get pucks to the net and play fast. So I think that when you put it all together, if they want to take Leon on head to head, I think that'd be the one. I wouldn't do it if I was Dallas. I'd put Mikko up against Connor's line. That's the line I'd rather have out there. That maybe a line that they're thinking may want to trade chances a little bit more. But I still think that Connor would recognize what the matchup is and how we play against that line.
Yeah. Defensively, Kulak, Bouchard being good, Stetcher, Nurse, heck, Wallman and Klingberg, they're all really good. Like, Ekholm would help, but I'm telling you straight, I'm not rushing that guy back whatsoever. And even when I do bring him back, I'm going to dress 7 defensemen his first game.
Yeah, I mean, so you have to take out a forward then, so what type of player do you want to take out? Like, is Perry coming out? Is it Kapanen?
Yeah, I might take Perry out. I might take Perry out for 1 game, Struddy, just because I want I don't want to bring back a defenseman because the last time he came back, unfortunately, he lasted 2 shifts. So
fair.
That's what I'm doing.
Fair. Yeah, what I think that the Oilers, I think that a split is a must down there. Obviously that's not being too original, but if that does that, I think that buys them time with what they can do with Ekholm, or not do with Ekholm, right?
Yeah.
And to be fair, those 6 guys have played well. You know, and we all know who'd be coming out. Stetcher, let's just be honest. But it's not like he deserves to come out. But if Ekholm is healthy, he's coming out, or he's going in, Stetcher's coming out. So I think that, you know, what they do, how they play, it makes a big difference of it. And then even how the forwards are playing, right? Because I don't know if Kaplan's going to play every night the rest of the playoffs. But maybe he comes out, depending how it goes. But there's so many options for this team, which is crazy. You still have, you know, Arvidsson, Skinner not playing, Emberson, who played in pretty much a regular shift all year. Lots of healthy options, which is very good for the Oilers.
Yeah. Jason Strudwick joins us. Stuart Skinner. Struddy, we saw it last year. You know what? I don't know if he gets sleepy. I don't know what term you want to use. He has a few off games and then he, you know, sits out, comes back, and he was really focused. Like, he's showing the ability to, because to me, everybody makes mistakes in life, whatever. And it's, you know, it's kind of how you respond. And after sitting out, Stuart Skinner responded very well last year in his final 15 games, only allowed more than 2 goals 4 times, right? He outdueled Ottinger that entire series against Dallas. And now we've seen it since he comes back. It's back-to-back shutouts against Vegas. And I know the second shutout was a much better environment, but he had 7 high-danger saves in the first game that he came in game 4 of the shutout. So what do you make of Skinner and Ottinger, and kind of, do you think he can carry on what he did against Vegas? Not necessarily shutouts, but just playing a controlled game in between the pipes.
Well, I mean, Ottinger's the better goalie. I think just historically and consistency-wise. But Stu Skinner has proven that he can be very good at very high-pressure times, which isn't every goalie and definitely not every player. So, you know, he should be feeling good about himself coming into this series, knowing that it's his net. This is his net now. And the thing is, he's had the net. He's done this before in this thing, as you mentioned, a year ago. I think the Oilers have to get to Ottinger. You look at the way they played Kemper and then for sure played Aiden Hill. I mean, they were in his blue paint lots.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if Ottinger is going to react the same way as Aiden Hill did, but whether he does it, you know, outwardly or just shows it, you know, more quietly, getting into that blue paint is going to be massive for this group to make his life much more uncomfortable than Skinner will be in his net.
Yeah, well, they're built for it, Struddy. Like the Oilers I was talking about earlier, the recipe for Toronto isn't good enough. They don't have a mix. That's been proven. Edmonton's mix right now, you've got skill, you've got great puck movers on the back end, you've got physical forwards up front with size on every line, they got speed on every line, and they got a goal scoring ability on every line, right? You know, you look, Corey Perry can still score in tight. You know, Matthias Janmark in the playoffs is a much better goal scorer than he is in the regular season, right? Evander Kane shows up, Adam Henrique, then obviously Draisaitl, McDavid, etc. Like Edmonton's mix right now, I like it because I think they're faster than Dallas. And I like that mix that if you want to play tight defensively, the Oilers have shown they've got the patience and the maturity to do it. And then if you want to open it up, they can do that. Do you think, though, Dallas, because I know I talked to a few of the Oilers, and their key is where Dallas gets a lot of their success from off the rush is it's when their guys come low with speed, and they go low with speed anticipating that they're going to get the puck with speed coming out. And you got to be on top. You got to be above them in that situation. How do you then, if you're the order forwards, ensure that you're above the speed guys like Hintz who like to come out with speed?
Yeah. So when I teach the kids at you know, my teams, I call it reloading. So let's say the puck's in to the right of the netminder, then transfers the other side. Instead of staying below the goal line, you work your way up above their high guy, right? Above their whatever, their center who might be there, and because the D-man can handle the wingers. But get above their center, because if he starts streaking, you're above him, it slows them down. Mm-hmm. And I always think back to his couple rookie years, PK Subban. That's what he did to Connor. Every time Connor swing, PK's right in front of him. And PK's not a burner, but Connor couldn't get going because he's in that spot. So that reload is going to be really important for the Oilers to get above the puck. And then that also gives the D-men, if they feel comfortable and there's a chance, they can pinch down and stymie that breakout. And then if it does get by him, well, now we've got another forward there and another D-man. At worst, you're looking at 3-on-2, which is a lot better than 2-on-1.
Yeah. What about Florida, Carolina? What do you see?
Man, Carolina's hard to watch.
Oh, are they ever, eh?
But I do like that. I do like the way they play.
Now, Struddy, hold on just a sec. I just want to repeat that. Struddy, who loves defensive hockey,
I know,
admits that Carolina's hard to watch. That's how hard they are to watch.
Oh, nothing really happens though. But you know what? I think that I honestly think they can take a good run at Florida.
Okay. Florida get after them and play them, kind of beat them at their own game almost, right? We're going to just keep doing the same thing over and over again and wait till you make a mistake, then we're going to hurt you. And, they've got 4 lines deep that they can run. They've got good D. Their goaltender is arguably the best still left in the playoffs if he stays healthy. So, I still feel like Florida's going to win this, but I'd say it's way closer to a coin toss than I would have expected, a month ago.
How much does the Tkachuk being a non-factor impact that series?
Well, I think it's huge. I mean, this guy's not only a 100-point getter twice, or point guy twice. He also is the guy that annoys everybody, that helps everybody. Now, luckily, Brad Marchand, that third line, really kind of picked themselves up and got going. But they need more out of Tkachuk, I think, to win the Stanley Cup for sure. Yeah. Being Toronto's one thing, but to win the Stanley Cup, he needs more. So is he still hurt? Maybe, I don't know. I'm not an insider, but he was like basically unnoticeable in that series, which is something you're not used to anyone who has that name on their back being.
Yeah. I want to get to Toronto as we finish. The excuses out of Toronto are mind-blowing to me. Now the fans are too hard. I'm like, give me a break. Struddy, you got all the data every year, especially in Game 7s. Their big dogs don't show up. And I said this at the start of the year. I don't care all the other changes they made, goaltenders. They said they kept avoiding the obvious, the elephant in the room, the core 4. They don't have one guy who stands out and can bring the others in the fight, right? Like Nathan McKinnon brings that when he plays. Draisaitl, McDavid, bring it. Brad Marchand, when he was the skill guy in Boston, he had it. Taves, Kane, Crosby, go down the list. All these teams had it. None of them have it. So my question is, if Marner goes somewhere else and he plays with someone who has it, do you think they can bring it out? Or the fact that he's a small forward who doesn't score, he's always going to be a small forward who doesn't score?
Well, I don't think he can be the lead singer, right? He's got to be a backup singer to someone, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't see him as a lead singer on a team. He's a really skilled player, and he is fantastic. But I always think, okay, what if he played in Columbus? Would they be talking about him the way he is? Because what is he? Is he the 20th best player in the NHL? Top 30, top 40, top 50? Like, where does he got 100 points this year, that's for sure. But I don't love small wingers. Yeah. In fact, I don't really like small forwards for the playoffs. Regular season, yeah, he's fun to watch and entertaining. Yeah, I'll pay my money to go watch him play. But when I look at this Maple Leafs team, Greg, they weren't as good as Florida. Let's go through their D. Yes. Is there a D you'd take before Seth Jones, Gustav Forsling, or Ekblad on the Leafs? I don't think there's one. Yeah. I don't think there's one D I would take before any of those 3 guys. And then their goalies, I think Bobrovsky, although Wall was fine, this guy I think is still better. Then up front, we talked about the talent that they have. Well, look at Tkachuk, Verhaeghe, Barkov, who am I missing there? Reinhardt. Those guys are skilled too, but they play with edge. They can play heavier, specifically Tkachuk, although he hasn't shown a lot this year. So I think fans and media all over the Leafs players, they're not good enough. Then look at who was even close to that bottom 6 who's doing anything against Toronto. I think Camp was sitting out games. The trade Scotty Lawton was at best average. A lot of their bottom 6 players didn't get anything done. So, we can beat up these players, and I do think they have to change the mix. For sure they have to. But I don't think the mix is deep enough. They didn't have enough. Like their D, Tanev, yeah, he's a capable guy, but he's not a first-line D-man. Riley didn't score a lot of points for a guy who's supposed to be an offensive D-man. Carlo, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, yeah, he's good. He's on the championship team, he was a 4-5. What was he asked to do there? 3-4? Probably a reach.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, though, Struds. Games 4 to Game 7 for Toronto. Matthews outscored 4-1. Marner outscored 4-1. Tavares outscored 5-0. Nylander 3-1. So they don't produce anything, and then they get outscored. Like, if you want to say their depth needs to be better, sure. But the fact is, every year in crunch time, none of those guys have delivered, ever. And that's why, to me, there's talk, they got to sign him. I'm like, that would be like, it's funny because their president, Brendan Shanahan, you played with him, Struddy. He wanted to fight you, cursing your name in church, for goodness sakes. Yeah. But he goes out and builds a roster that doesn't have any grit in their top 6. I don't get it.
No, and that's fair. And I mean, just as the D-men, they didn't have any 1s and 2s. they had 3s and 4s, right? Maybe a 2.5. But their D isn't good enough. How can you win without an elite D man or that D core? Is it good enough? I mean, I don't think it is. So, listen, I think there's got to be changes. Unfortunately, they should have probably traded Marner 2 years ago. Got the D-men they needed. I would never sign Tavares in the first place.
Totally agree.
That's what all their problems. You and I beat this up. All the problems started there because now Matthews and Martin look around like, well, we're better than him. We want more money.
Yep.
So now they put all this money out there and it screwed them up. So the whole thing is actually quite a case study in what not to do to build a championship team. A good team, yeah, but not a championship team.
Yeah, I totally agree. Struddy, what's happening in the Oilers and Stars? Who's making it to the Cup?
Buddy, I picked the Kings in 6 the first round, and I was fortunately wrong. I picked the Oilers in 6 the next round, and I got that one right. Guys, this one sounds crazy, but sometimes you got to put them on a line, right? Got to put your nuts on the line. I got the Oilers in 5. I honestly think they're going to come out. I think the Stars have been really pressed the last 2 rounds. I think the Oilers are rested, feeling good about themselves, and I expect big things out of them. So I'm going Oilers in 5.
Ooh, I like it. Awesome. And then who do you got? Florida, Carolina?
I got Florida. So I want a rematch. It's like Ric Flair said, to be the man, you got to beat the man. So if it was me, I'd want to play Florida in the final and beat them in Florida to make them just tears of joy coming out of your face. That's my goal.
All right.
On the Oilers.
Struddy, should be a fun series. It's great to have hockey back tonight, and we will chat with you next Tuesday. Have a great day.
Yep.
Betcha.
Bye-bye.
Jason Strudwick from the Got Your Back podcast on Jason Strudwick Show. Quick break. We'll return 5 questions and more. Speck will join us from Dallas. Oilers are just getting on the podium speaking now on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference.
Yes!
FittedGolf.ca.
Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages is the ultimate destination for everything garage. Storage solutions and cabinets? Garage Superstore has it. Vehicle hoists? Got those too. Durable polyaspartic floor coatings? You bet. From mess to masterpiece, one garage at a time. And when it's time to eat, Traeger Grills brings the heat with wood-fired flavor that can't be beat. Need it? They've got it at Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages. Visit their massive 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th or garagesuperstore.ca.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Back by popular demand, the Operation 36 Junior Golf Program at Cattail Crossing Golf Club. Designed for kids ages 5 through 17, it combines instruction and on-course play, focusing on technique, strategy, and course management. Taught by certified CPGA pros. Only $325 for 4 weeks of instruction, plus 4 9-hole rounds of golf. Operation 36, Wednesdays 5:30 till 7:30 p.m. through August. Register at cattailcrossing.ca. Click on Junior Program or call 780-973-6686.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price, starting at just $1 plus tax. For a small, great tasting coffee every single day. Must be McCafe.
Grant Fedoruk here from Leading Edge Physiotherapy. Now, some people live with problems they don't have to because they might not know that we're here, the things we can do, and the issues we can help. Problems less talked about, like incontinence, vertigo, Bell's palsy, and lymphedema, or even things people live with every day, like shoulder, neck, and low back pain. So while a lot of people already know we have the people, tools, and technology to help you head to toe, I'm going to keep at this, because if just one more person gets the care they need, then every penny we spend sharing what and who we can treat is worth it. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Golf season is here at Wolf Creek Golf Resort. The fairways are green, the sun is shining, and it's time to tee off with friends and family. Whether you're a seasoned player or just starting out, Wolf Creek's championship courses are ready for you. Book your tee time today and experience one of Alberta's premier golf destinations. Visit golfnorth.ca/Wolf Creek for details. Wolf Creek Golf Resort. Your golf adventure starts now. Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Don't miss the midweek showdown on Wednesday, May 28th at 7 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. Thestingers.ca.
Explore Internet just got 10 times faster. 5G Ultra brings incredible speeds to homes in rural and small-town Canada. Upgrade today at xplore.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Garage Superstore by Premier Built. Garage is your one-stop shop for everything garage, from accessories and storage solutions to cabinets, vehicle hoists, storage racks, and Traeger grills. We've got everything you need to maximize your space. Visit our 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th Ave, or online at garagesuperstore.ca.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$450. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Cougar, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and we'll have to continue our in-studio conversation, maybe on air, because we were talking about, of course, if you didn't hear, flag football is coming to the Olympics, and the NFL has said they're going to let their players play if they want. And we were talking, well, the CFL will be smart to probably maybe shut down their league, let the best Canadian players go play. Because we were talking, who would be the quarterback for USA in flag football? And if I'm picking, it'd be really hard to not go Lamar Jackson in flag football. Are you kidding me? And he's a great thrower. Yeah, I'd take him. Trey Ford in flag football, pretty good. Pretty good. So that would be fantastic to watch. I'll tell you that. It'll be interesting. And hey, remember, you obviously only get one team per country. Well, some sports have two teams per country. So would flag football have two? I don't know. We'll see. Like beach volleyball, usually get two teams. Flag football, well, rugby only has one, soccer, so probably not. But it would be interesting. I think, yeah, it's only sports if you have more than two, right? Well, no, bobsleigh you have four, so you can have two teams of that. But I don't know what the rules are. Would flag football have more than, one team per country? I have to look at what the rules are for that. It'd be interesting. Either way, I think it'd be great. Now, let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. We're saving you more. That's what they do at The Brick and thebrick.com. Furniture, mattresses, appliance, big screen TVs, you name it, you got it. Make the fan cave look great at The Brick.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, when Matthias Ekholm returns to the Oilers lineup, who do you have coming out?
Well, the first game I would take out a Ford, and it might be Corey Perry. If I was picking today for one game, because a guy coming off a groin injury, I'm not going with 6 defensemen just on the off chance. And I don't want to rush Ekholm back. Look what Dallas did with Heiskanen. I think it was a smart way to go about it, so that's what I would do.
Yeah, I really like that idea actually as well. And, they could do it for one game just in case. Worst case scenario, something doesn't go well for Matthias Ekholm. Then you have that full slate of guys. I would go that route, and after that, see what happens. I really like what Troy Stetcher's brought to the lineup. Plays well with Darnell Nurse, so he'd be tough to take out. So I might go Klingberg after that, but that's future problems. Question number 2 for you. If you had to pick a landing spot for Mitch Marner next year, where do you think he should end up playing?
Oh man. Well, Carolina tried to trade for him. Now he vetoed it, but maybe that was because it was during the season. I'm like, here's the thing. There's not many competitive teams, I think, out there who would do it. So, yeah, I'm going to say Utah is where he ends up.
Yeah, my heart says Ottawa just for the my heart says Ottawa just because I want the madness. I'd love him to go there and try to stick it to his former team. But yeah, I think he's going to end up somewhere nice weather, less in the fishbowl. Question number 3 for you. As the conference championships get going tonight, who's your picks to win the series of those that get going this evening?
I'll take the Panthers in 6 over the Hurricanes. And, OKC, Thunder, and Timberwolves. I think it's going to be a heck of a series. I'll take the Thunder in 7.
Yeah, that's going to be outstanding. Some real star power in that one. I'm going to be with you. I'll take Thunder in 6, but I want to say the Canes find a way to get it done. I doubted them last round, so I'm going to believe in the Canes and say they find a way to win in 6. Who's your pick to win the Mem Cup this year?
Well, first of all, it's Memorial Cup.
Sorry.
Never Mem Cup. It's very disrespectful for all those who fought. Memorial Cup, I am taking. I got to go with Medicine Hat, buddy. Let's go with the. McKenna had a few games off. He's now healed up. I'm going to go with Medicine Hat. Obviously, the WHL is due for one. I'd love to see them win. They're a very exciting team. So I will go with McKenna. And then because he comes back for a chance to try to repeat and go back to back.
Yes, my apologies. I even wrote Memorial Cup.
You did, actually.
Abbreviated it. Anywho, I like that pick, Gregor, because I love to see it happen. But if not, I don't think you can ever go wrong going with the London Knights and maybe for Oilers fans a chance to watch their first round pick, Sam O'Reilly.
Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, I got him and young William Carrier.
Yeah.
So they got 2 draft picks. So Oilers fans will probably be watching some of the London games as well.
Final question for you today. Jack Gleason celebrating his 33rd birthday. He, of course, Joffrey in Game of Thrones. So in all the TV shows, movies, obviously, we know that those are the elite actors that can make you hate them. Who did it best?
Is he related to Jackie Gleason?
I don't think Jackie Gleason's got to be American.
No, but yeah, I don't know. I was just wondering something.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. Who is okay, give me your most hated character.
Yeah, I mean, geez, I could just go through. So there's some characters I hate that you're probably not supposed to. Like maybe in like Breaking Bad, Walter's wife I really didn't like. But one who really got me, Clay Morrow from Sons of Anarchy. Like from the beginning, he would do nice things occasionally, but he was just a bad dude from the start. So Clay Morrow, Sons of Anarchy, probably with the guy who fired me up the most.
All right. Oh man. What's interesting is like Game of Thrones had some of the best villains. Right? That like Cersei, people hated her.
Joffrey and his mom.
What about
awful?
Yeah, Ramsay Bolton.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? Now he did probably have one of the greatest deaths though, too. But I guess trying to think, I gotta I'm gonna go really off the board. So because you didn't, I just want to reread the question just to make sure. Just who is your most hated character? You didn't say villain.
It's true.
You just said who is your most hated character. And without question for me, so hated. I banned the show. I'm going with Caillou. Without a doubt, the most annoying character of all time. Any new parents out there, never play Caillou in your house. It is the worst message for your children. Wine, 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 more wine. So Caillou out.
Noted.
Yeah. I want to make sure because it technically wasn't a villain. God, I couldn't stand him. Couldn't do it. And it's even his sister. Whined all the time, too. It's just the worst. Worst. Now, speaking of characters, because this just came down today, but man, and we might have to do this tomorrow for 5 questions. But George Wendt, famously as Norm in Cheers, also the Bears in Saturday Night Live, passed away today. And that guy, he was hilarious, man. Like as Norm, like anybody whose name is Norm can probably attest that how many times have someone said Norm to a guy named Norm in the last, and it's all because of Norm off of Cheers. Like it's stunning. He was hilarious, man. Like his great one-liners, Like when coach would, hey, Norm, how'd a beer feel? Pretty nervous if I was in the room. And then the one was the other one. He said, like, Normie, how's the beer sound? I don't know. I usually finish them before they have a chance to get a word in. He just how he delivered them, right? Like, because obviously he didn't write the lines. I get the writers wrote the lines, but his delivery, he was like the perfect bar. Like, you ask anybody who works in a pub and you have a regular that comes in who's like jovial, that was Norm. Like, the guy just sit at the end of the bar, has the one buddy. I'm not sure if they're really buddies outside the bar, but him and Cliff just hang out at the bar. I don't know if they ever hung out outside the bar. And yeah, he was awesome. So rest in peace, George Wendt. Passed away I think he was 76, Cons. Did I see that right? So no.
Yeah, 76 years old. What a good show. I didn't really get a chance to watch it during its original run, but we'd go down to the States at Christmas and Nick at Night was a thing.
Oh, yeah.
And you'd watch like Cheers. I thought Woody was hilarious when he was added to the cast. Like, just a good show. Yeah. Sad news today.
Oh, God. Yeah. Nice. Hey, Gregor, I actually love that Caillou take. Great picks. There's a lot of people. Brian and many others couldn't agree more. It's true. Caillou is, no one ever talks about it sometimes. They think it's a cartoon character, and cartoon characters are all lovable. It's not the case. Caillou was a reason to ban cartoons. Now, none of them, just his, though. Never had a book, never had a Caillou video, ever again. I'm telling any new parent, when your child, whatever age they are, 5, and you let them watch a video, just block Caillou right from the get-go so they never have to find it. It'll be the best parenting decision that you can make. I know there's others that might be more important, but that might be the best one you can make. Let's get to the con man. Sports 1440 update. He's already going to put it in the block for Benny. Benny's not ready yet to watch videos, but when it comes in, there'll be no Caillou. No Caillou. Let's get to the comment. Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire and Summer's Calling. The open road awaits. The hair out the window, maybe got convertible, got the hair flowing or the lack of it, whatever you have. Well, guess what? Stop in at Fountain Tire. We'll make sure your tires, your brakes, your fluids, and everything is ready for safe driving at fountaintire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game 1 of the Eastern Final gets going tonight out in Carolina. Hurricanes and Panthers meeting. Puck drop just after 6 o'clock off the ice. Boston Bruins signing general manager Don Sweeney to a 2-year contract extension. On the hard card, you got Thunder Timberwolves meeting at 6:30 in OKC. This was named to the NBA's all-rookie first team. Major League Baseball, Jays taking on the Padres out in Toronto. That gets going in about 10 minutes' time. You've also got the Astros, Rays, and the Rangers taking on the Yankees. Right now, Nationals up on the Braves 2-0 in the first. Also in the first, Reds, Pirates scoreless. Cubbies on top of the Marlins 1-0 in the second inning. CWHL tonight. Championship Series gets going shortly. Ottawa Charge hosting the Minnesota Frost. And at the men's World, Canada beat Sweden 5-3 to win Group A. They'll now take on Denmark in the quarterfinals on Thursday. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and host of the basketball show, Paul Sir. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Find the perfect tractor for any job at Edmonton Kubota. Their massive selection of compact tractors has something for everyone. Whether you're tackling small tasks or big
Jason Gregor.
And right now, take advantage of 0% 72 months.
Jason
It's never
Gregor.
been easier to get the power and reliability you need. Come down to Edmonton Kubota today.
Jason
and drive
Gregor.
away with the tractor that's
Connor
just
Halley
right
with you.
for you.
Sports.
Edmonton Kubota, where your perfect tractor awaits.
Did you know the
Will that be Mitch Marner's walkout song?
Operated? We started right here in Canada over
Dang.
50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200
Gregor,
communities
Connor Halley,
across
Declan
Canada.
Cougars.
And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality-made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us, The Brick, saving you more.
Visit thebrick.com and use our store locator to find a brick store near you. Get moving with Volvo and save big for summer during the May sales event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's the final month to lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
The Finning sales event is this Thursday from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. at Finning. Kick off the weekend with a huge sale where you can demo all the latest cat equipment. Plus, get 0% financing and a free cat cooler with equipment purchase. Test your skills with a mini operator challenge for prizes and grab some food. Big day, big savings, big machines. Don't miss the Finning sales event this Thursday, 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. at Finning in Edmonton, 10910 170th Street.
Your cooperator's advisor can help find farm insurance that meets your specific needs. Like the I know all 217 acres like the back of my hand plan. Talk to a local advisor today about how you can get personalized farm insurance from a company founded by farmers.
Looking for a local cooperator's advisor? Give Camrose Insurance Financial Solutions a call at 780-672-9251 and see the difference a personalized plan makes. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
Portion of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.507. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X, as always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game tonight, baby. Good luck. Lotto Max, $30 million. Woo! Would that be a fun? You'd probably be hosting a few playoff parties, I would think. I hope you be, supplying all the fun and festivities if you win. So good luck. PlayAlberta.ca. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. In our email inbox. Hey, guys, it's a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm wearing milk-bone underwear from Norm from J-Dog. That was a classic line. Oh, so good. Yes. George went, a.k.a. Norm from Cheers, passing away today. That is funny, dude. And the Bears from SNL. Oh, he was great at that. Absolutely great. Like that meme it's got to be one of the most used memes out there. So love it. Now, let's get to the spec report brought to you by TS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialist. If you're looking to work for a company that loves to promote from within, they keep growing, more opportunities for you to start and create your own career at GS Construction. That's where you apply, gsconstruction.com. As Mark Spector joins us from Big D in Dallas. Spec, how you doing?
Buddy, if we win that lottery you're talking about, we'll revise Spec's deck. We'll do it out at the lake. We'll have 300 people out there.
Oh, that would be fun. Oh, now we might have to get remember old lawn chair? Oh, no, it wasn't the lawn chair. God, what did she pass out in? In
Hammock girl.
Your hammock. Oh God, that was still, it's a classic Spec deck story.
Whatever happened to Hammock Girl? I miss her.
Oh no, man. They took the limo ride. She enjoyed all of it. I think she was at Spec's deck for about 25 minutes. Hubby wasn't very happy, as where my recollection was.
Yeah, she was honking in the hammock about half hour in.
The orders that they had, I don't know, were you there in time for the media bills today?
Yes. I was asking questions. Absolutely.
Did you learn anything today?
What did I learn today? I mean, how much you can learn about a team you've been talking to all year? I did learn. I asked Leon Draisaitl. I'm writing a piece on sort of how you and I talked about this. Remember, they lost Fogle and Holloway and Broberg and McLeod, and they were too slow. And the season started, and we were worried, right? We're like, man, I don't know. These guys are old, and these guys are slow. And I asked a version of that question to Leon Draisaitl, and he said, yeah. He said, when the season started, it seemed a little slow, and we seemed a little old. And, Stan Bowman's done quietly a pretty nice job. Like, he's brought in some foot speed, right? And Kapanen and Podkolzin are both quick, fast players. And he's brought in guys who move the puck fast in Wallman and Klingberg. And so now you're a little bit better foot speed. You're moving the puck way quicker than you were. And you know what? Here we are, Jay. We're in the third round of the playoffs. And no one is talking about how the Oilers are slow anymore. So that's a pretty good recovery, I would say.
Yeah, totally is. And, you look at, Wallman and Klingberg, their passing ability on the back end allows them to move the puck. And Wallman's a really good skater. Klingberg's a great lateral skater, not necessarily, straight ahead speed, but laterally he moves very quickly. Stetcher gets around the ice very well. So the Oilers can move. And Dallas, Edmonton is definitely quicker than Dallas. You go to NHL Edge and you can just put them up everywhere, team versus team, and Edmonton's faster. You go down kind of player by player, and in a lot of the areas, they are the quicker team. Now it's just a matter of, can they use it to their abilities, and can Edmonton continue? Like, they took away Vegas's strengths. That's the one thing I guess Chris Knobloch, the coaching staff, credit. They come up with the game plan, but the players still have to implement the game plan. And the Oilers have shown an ability. They can alter their game to match the opposition. And in a lot of cases, they've outmatched them.
Well, okay. So old and slow. So you fix the slow part. And now instead of being old, maybe they're savvy veterans smart. And maybe they have the ability to change their game. And these guys have been through a lot. The core of their team, the main guys aren't old, but let's face it. I believe they're the oldest of the four teams left. Are they not? I'm pretty sure they are. But that can mean that you're just smart and you've got experience, and the coaches throw a game plan at you and you go, oh yeah, we've done this. We played a certain way to beat LA, and then we got Vegas, and they're not quite the same team. So we had to do a certain, we're still going to be the Edmonton Oilers, but yeah, we know what to do. We can make adjustments and we'll beat Vegas, and we'll beat them 3 times in their own rink, and we'll take their game away from them a little bit. And now you get Dallas and you go, okay, it's not quite the same, but you know what? Throw a game plan at us and we can react to it, because they're a smart, veteran, playoff savvy team now. I can't think of anything else this team needs to see or do other than win a Stanley Cup. They've played, what are we, Jay? Are we at our 12th series in 4 years here? 12 series in 4 years, man. Come on. Like, do you need more? No one needs more experience. No one has more experience. Maybe Florida might be 1 series ahead of them. What do you think?
Yeah, well, if you're looking at games played from 2022 until now, I think, Edmonton and Florida probably are right there. Well, I think it's the same amount of series. Florida just played 3 more games.
Okay,
so 67 to 64, and then Dallas is right next at 58. And guess what? Carolina's 4th. Right. So you got the 4 teams. I read your article. Like, these teams know how to win.
They do, man. They do. They're the 4 teams that have been clogging up the Eastern and Western Conference Finals for 3-4 years here. And, And that's kind of what I wrote. And I don't really always know the answer, Jay. Like, you tell me, how do the Edmonton Oilers figure out how to win road games in LA, a big game 5 against the best home team in the league? Winnipeg goes two rounds. They can't figure out how to win a road game, right? How does Edmonton's top guys figure out how to score big goals at big times and be totally productive every single year? And the Toronto guys, they can't figure it out. Like, how does, I guess that's why one team rise, the 4 teams rise and other teams never get there. But there is a reason for those 4 teams we're talking about being where they are every year.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like there's a recipe for it. It's not just luck. You need a little bit of luck sometimes, a fortuitous bounce here or there for sure. But you know what? The Oilers have found a way. Now them and the Stars, Spec, and how they shape up. How do you see this series?
Well, how do I see it? Everybody, and including me, would give the goaltending edge to let's start in goal, would give the edge to Jake Ottinger. He's got a higher pedigree. He's a Team USA goalie. He's just, there isn't a GM in the league that would trade you Jake Ottinger and take Stu Skinner back. Like, that's just a fact, right? But we said that a year ago, and when that series ended, Stu Skinner was a better goalie in the series, and it closed on that game in Game 6 where he beat the Stars almost by himself. So sure, they get the edge in goal, but what's it worth? It wasn't worth a damn thing last year. Edmonton's depth is better. Edmonton is just more experienced. I don't see how it ends differently than it ended last season, Jason. Other than Rantanen, and Rantanen's a big deal here, but is Dallas that much better? Have they improved enough, and have the Oilers gone down enough that we get a different result this year? What do you think?
Well, the one difference I will say is that, last year in that series, Dallas, they barely played like they basically played 5 defense, and then Tanev got hurt and they were done. Now that's their problem. Like Petrovic came in and played quite well. So, I'm curious. I don't know if Dallas said it or not. Are they going to go to 6 defensemen? Are they going to continue with 7? I'll be curious about that. And I'm more curious to see if the head coach changes, because right now, Spec, Dallas does not have a lot of guys with any sort of offensive confidence, right? Duchesne, Sagan, Ben, Robertson have combined for 1 goal 5-on-5 in the playoffs. 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 1. Robertson has none. Ben has none. Duchesne doesn't have a point 5-on-5, and Sagan's got the only goal, and he has 2 points. Like, they got 3 points between them and 1 goal. It's brutal. So, you look like Sammy Steele, he's their second leading scorer 5-on-5 amongst forwards. He's got 6 points. He played great on your 4th line. That's unreal for him, but it's bad for the rest of their team. And so I'm curious to see if Edmonton can find a way to keep them down. And does that slump, because the Ben, Duchesne, Sagan line has been awful. They're getting outshot. They're getting outscored. They're not scoring anything. I wonder if he would consider putting Robertson back with Wyatt Johnson and Ben, because they were very good in the regular season, and then reuniting Marchment with Sagan, because they were very good. And that's what I'm going to be curious about. Maybe ask him that question if he's looking at his lines, because the lines he's used in the playoffs. Now, I know Robertson was hurt for the part of it, so that started it. But since he's come back, it hasn't worked, him playing on that line with Wyatt Johnson. And I wonder if maybe they'd put Ben back there.
Yeah, they're going to need production from the guys that are supposed to produce. I recall the playoff series last year looking at the same thing. I recall a lot of their big guys not getting much done in that series. And the difference with this Oilers team is, I'm here, we all know McDavid and Draisaitl will produce to some extent. They won't be, they're never dry.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of whether they go crazy or whether they're just regular point of game guys. But what we know for sure is the rest of this team is way more productive. One of the shot share leaders in the league right now, I think, is the Kane Hyman line when they're playing with Nuge. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen again or how that's going to go, but Edmonton's depth is really, really good. And we know their superstars are really, really good. And they've got tons of offense from the back end. So, I know I didn't. Pete DeBoer and the Dallas Stars went this morning. I was still in the air, so I didn't talk to them. But if they're not getting by on that group of guys, not producing at even strength, Edmonton's the best 5-on-5 team going here. If they don't at least match them 5-on-5, Dallas won't win the series.
What's your thoughts on Ekholm and when you might see him or if you see him this series?
Well, he's here. He's with the team, and he's going to have the morning skate tomorrow. Stan Bowman told me that this afternoon he is not playing in Dallas.
No, I didn't think it would be.
That's what he said. I don't think he will either. I tend to believe him, but frankly, if he was going to play, he wouldn't tell me. And he might even fib at this time of year. So let's go on the let's proceed as in Ekholm's not playing 1 or 2. He's here. He's going to skate with the team. He's told the trainers or whoever the coaches that actually skating with the team the other day was better for him than just the practicing he's been doing. He wants to keep doing it. So the blessing here, the good thing is, like, we kind of went into playoffs thinking that Ekholm's absence was going to cripple this team, right? It was a big deal, man. He was going to miss all the playoffs, and we were like, oh my God, they haven't been playing very good. They don't have Ekholm. I don't know what's going to happen here. Now we're heading into the third round of the playoffs, and I don't think anybody's telling you that they can't win this series if Ekholm doesn't play a game. You know, so they'll take him back the minute he can play. Don't get me wrong, but they've built a defense here that can win without Ekholm, and I'll tell you what, I did not see that coming. Did you?
Well, maybe not. I thought they could win, and maybe not as defensive minded, right? Like, they've played unreal defensively, and I know Leon got the defensive. I'm not even sure why when I was complimenting their defensive play, but. Yes. Their last 7 games, Spec, you look, 4 of them have been utterly dominant, where the opposing team has had nothing. Like, when you can give up 3 or 4 high danger chances the entire game, you know you're playing very well. And, dating back to that game 5 in LA where the Kings had absolutely nothing going. Game 1 against Vegas, the final 51 minutes, they had 3 shots, 5-on-5. You look at games 4 and 5, 2 shutouts. Yeah, Skinner made some key saves against Barbashev and McNabb in game 4, but game 5, he had a pretty decent environment in front of him. And I look at how they're playing as a group, and that surprised me. I didn't think they'd be this dominant defensively, and that's why I'm picking them, because they've got that, and their power play hasn't done anything, and they won a series. Like, their power play did nothing, Spec, literally. It scored 1 goal, and they won the series. So you think that their power play can be even a little bit better? I would increase their odds of winning in my eyes.
Oh, the fact that you win 3 games in Vegas in a series. I mean, you're not winning 3 games in Vegas in the regular season if you go there 3 times. The fact they win 3 playoff games there and don't score a power play goal while doing it, like, that's so not the Oilers, right? So here's a team that's winning 8 out of 9 here, and they're doing it with a power play that's pedestrian. And they're doing it without their best defender in Matthias Ekholm, and they did a bunch of those games with their backup goalie in net. Yeah. So can Edmonton be better? Damn right they can be better. If Ekholm's healthy, he makes them better. If their power play gets going, that makes them better. The way they're playing defensively right now, like this, everyone's playing it. Like I want to say this. You said the word environment, and the environment was awesome in the last couple of games for Stu Skinner. There's no such thing almost as a shutout without a great environment, right? I mean, sure, the odd guy rips off a 35 save shutout with a million great saves, but generally speaking, it takes a good environment to have a shutout, to have 2 shutouts in the row in the playoffs. That tells you got goaltending, but frankly, it tells me even more. I got a team that's playing really good defensive hockey.
Oh God, yeah. No, they're playing very well defensively, and they should have boatloads of confidence. I'm sure they do. Did Knobloch give you any sense, Spec, about matchups? Do you think it's going to be Draisaitl if they can against Heinz, or is it going to be McDavid? What do you think DeBoer would do?
Man, like he's going to tell me the matchups the day before the first game. Not a chance. You and me can guess.
Yeah. Like, what do you think DeBoer does?
Well, what do I think DeBoer does? I think DeBoer wants to keep Rantanen away from the Draisaitl line. That's what I think. Okay. I mean, I think we all saw, like, listen, if you're putting Draisaitl with Kapanen and Podkolzin, I don't mean this in a derogatory way, or I don't want to say a bad thing about guys, but on a really good team, Kapanen and Podkolzin are 4th line players, right? They're not top 6 wingers. They're not. It's just the way it is. So if I see Knobloch playing Draisaitl with those 2, that's because he wants those guys to be excellent defensively, and he's giving them an assignment like he gave them against the Eichel line, Barbashev, Stone in the Vegas series. So if I'm DeBoer and I see that, I go, okay, give me McDavid. I'd rather have Rantanen's line up against McDavid. What about you?
Well, I would think so. I want Rantanen's line against McDavid's line because if you know what, if they negate each other out, now I still think that maybe the rest of my lineup can score. Draisaitl's line, if Draisaitl's line breaks even with Rantanen's line, that's a huge win for Edmonton. Dallas would still convince themselves, hey, if Rantanen and McDavid's line break even, we would like to think the rest of our lines could outscore them. Well, they haven't, but in theory, that's probably what they think. And so, but the other thing is if they go 11-7, Rantanen's the one that double shifts. So he plays some minutes in that line, but then he also plays with Robertson and Wyatt Johnston. So at least probably half of the shifts he gets with them. So
don't forget Rantanen just played 3 games and had 1 assist against the Jets. Mm-hmm. So, let's like he was scorching red hot and he's leading the league in points. I get that. Like, I'm not disrespecting him, but he's got to show me here that the game's got to go north again. He's got to be productive. This team's having obviously some goal scoring problems and they need this guy to play. So if I'm Knobloch and I feel I can find any way possible to keep that guy off the scoreboard, I think that's the head of the snake down here, don't you?
Yes, I would agree with that one.
Yep.
Specs, going to be a heck of a game. We look forward to it, man. We'll chat with you tomorrow.
All right, sounds good, Jake.
Mark Spector, the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. More playoffs, baby. Who doesn't love playoffs this time of year? They're awesome to watch. You got PWHL playoffs going on, NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, the Memorial Cup in the WHL. It's an unreal time of year. We'll continue talking playoffs next on the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, Alberta, the all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
The locks are on a timer. They're going to get out.
Sounds like jobs for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Service team reporting. With the remarkable reach of our bucket trucks and other equipment, we assess, service, and maintain your electrical lighting and automation systems.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages is the ultimate destination for everything garage. Storage solutions and cabinets? Garage Superstore has it. Vehicle hoists? Got those too. Durable polyaspartic floor coatings? You bet. From mess to masterpiece, one garage at a time. And when it's time to eat, Traeger Grills brings the heat with wood-fired flavor that can't be beat. Need it? They've got it at Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages. Visit their massive 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th or garagesuperstore.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman. Are you ready, guys?
We were born ready. Heck yes, Nuge. Drop the beat.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
We freaking killed it, Nuge. That's what I'm talking about, Zachary Martin Hyman.
Nice guys. We're going to sell a lot of air conditioners.
Hey, doesn't Legacy offer no payments and no interest for a year on those?
Yeah. Well, thanks for the assist on the copy points there, Nuge.
It's just what I do.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Kevin Carius, Low Tide, Jason Gregor. They are all ready for the Cup run. Sports 1440 is your home for all things hockey, including our pre- and post-game show with Andrew Walker. Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
Adventure just doesn't stumble into your life. It roars to life with Riverside Motorsports. Tearing up trails or cruising the open road. Yamaha ATVs, side-by-sides, motorcycles, and dirt bikes deliver the performance you crave. Built for thrills, ready for your next adventure. Yamaha's legendary performance and reliability take you there. Make Mother Nature your playground on a Yamaha from Riverside Motorsports. Located on St. Albert Trail. RideRiverside.com. Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
Now, all sizes of premium roast coffee at McDonald's have a new low price, starting at just $1 plus tax. For a small, great tasting coffee every single day. Must be McCafe.
Measles outbreaks are occurring in Canada, including Alberta. These outbreaks are highly preventable. Measles is an extremely contagious disease that is spread easily through the air. The best way to protect yourself, your family, and your community is to ensure you are up to date with your immunizations. Don't get measles. Get immunized. Visit alberta.ca/measles to find out if you're up to date and what to do if you're not. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Your cooperator's advisor can help find home and auto insurance that are uniquely you. Like the, I sure do love a great deal, and that's why I bundled my home and auto insurance plan. Talk to a local advisor today and save up to 15% when you bundle home and auto insurance that are just right for you.
Looking for a local cooperator's advisor? Give Camrose Insurance Financial Solutions a call at 780-672-9251 and see the difference a personalized plan makes. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor. Sherbrooke is a house of curiosities, a mom and pop, a curated experience that is equal parts wine tasting and 2-4s for May long. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5:29. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Use the code Gregor50 and you get your free $50 play. If you use it every month, it doesn't matter. You get a new one every month. So check it out, PlayAlberta.ca. Good luck. The NHL playoffs beginning in about 50 minutes time for the first puck drop. And in just over an hour's time, you have the tip-off. And you got the Western Conference Final in the NBA. So they got the East NHL, West NBA, and they're rotating. So tomorrow will be East NBA, the Knickers and the Pacers. The Knickers. Did I just call them the Knickers? Yeah, that's right. Knickerbockers, the Knickers, whatever. Them and the Pacers. It's kind of bringing me back, man. The old great rivalry of the Knicks and the Pacers. Back when both those teams were really good, but neither one ever won a championship. But they were really good. Just couldn't win the championship. Could get to the finals. Couldn't win it. And to discuss the NBA playoffs, Paul Sir joins us, host of the Basketball Show, every Saturday here, 10 a.m. on Saturday mornings. Paul, how you doing, my man?
Couldn't be more excited. We got the semifinals after two very entertaining rounds to get the NBA playoffs started, Jason. So let's go. In an hour, like you said, we're going to see a pretty interesting matchup.
So let's start with the Thunder, and they got pushed to 7, and they really dominated Game 7. What did you make of that series, and what did you see in that series that maybe concerns you about how they're going to play against Minnesota, who I think is a better team than the Nuggets?
Well, I think there were inconsistencies by everybody not named Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. SGA was outstanding 6 of the 7 games, and not bad in the 7th game that he played. And I'm not going in chronological order there, Jason, yes. But he had one game where he was just so-so. But he was just fantastic. But the rest of the team, they showed some inconsistencies in their ability to hit shots and, move the ball. Defensively, they didn't have answers for 6 of the 7 games for Jokic. They certainly had an interesting answer in Game 7 with Russo at a 6'5" guard being the guy who stifled Jokic more than anyone else could. So yeah, inconsistency and youth. Let's just put it that way. They're the youngest team in the NBA, haven't been here before, but the fact is they defeated the 2023 champion in the Denver Nuggets, and now they're here against the Timberwolves, who are back in familiar territory, that territory being getting to the Western Conference Finals last year.
What do you make of, that youth and, how much they can learn in one series to be better in this round?
Well, I mean, there's one factor to me that overarches everything else, Jason, in this series. And that is, how physical are the officials going to allow the defenses to play?
Okay.
Because clearly the physical style of play, particularly in Game 7, by the Thunder, with their tremendous ability to rotate on defense, like they rotate better defensively than any other team in the NBA. And they have tremendous athletes, and they're deep. They can go big, or as they showed in Game 7, they can play small. So their versatility is really impressive. But I'll tell you, the physical defense that was allowed, particularly in Game 7, if they're allowed to do that against the Timberwolves, like if they're allowed to get into Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle the way they were allowed in Game 7, that's going to be a pretty rough go for the Wolves, who are a very good team defensively, particularly on the perimeter. And they do have, a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year in Rudy Gobert, able to change shots going to the rim. So the Wolves are no slouch on defense either, and they are also capable of playing physically. But if you had to just go toe-to-toe, who's the better team defensively and playing a physical brand of defense, I'd have to go with the Thunder, and that really could affect the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah, well, the officiating, and a lot of it, they've allowed it to go on, right? And so, and I don't mind it. So I kind of hope they do, to be honest, and I kind of want to see it. Like that's, I thought it got to a point where they jumped the shark. It was just too much ticky-tack. Every touch was a foul, and I think they've realized that, and they're slowly kind of drawing themselves back in.
Totally agree with you. There's one defensive rule that the NBA, I believe, needs to change. And the example was the flagrant foul against Aaron Gordon when he caught SGA in the chin when SGA was crowding him on defense. The basketball play typically was you can't get in the cylinder of the player. And the Thunder have been really good at that. And Caruso was unreal doing that against Jokic in the last game. Like, that was an impressive defensive performance by Caruso.
Yeah.
Really was.
Yeah.
But, and that's why I was making mention of that. If they're allowed to do that against Anthony Edwards, that's really going to bother him, because you get a guy like Lou Dort guarding Edwards. He's almost as athletic as Edwards is, and he's stronger than Edwards. That's going to be an interesting matchup. But like you said, it's definitely more entertaining. It's definitely more physical. Both teams are physical on the defensive side of the ball, and both teams have very different offensive strengths. So it's going to be interesting to see how the matchups actually play out tonight.
Yeah. Paul Sir joins us. Paul, what about the Knicks and the Pacers? You look at the teams they beat. Obviously, Tatum's injury hurt, but the Celtics were down before he got hurt anyway. And, the Knicks have been playing well. It's funny. When I look at the New York Knicks and I see Jalen Brunson come in, and since he's come in, the Knicks have a guy who's a superstar, who's a gamer. And that's exactly what the Leafs don't have. And so I look at Brunson, and then I look at Indiana. Now they're back second straight year. You know what? And nobody considers their best player a superstar, but man, Halliburton's probably got to get consideration here at some point for it. What do you make of that matchup?
Well, I think it's the Pacers' depth and ability to play at a fast pace compared to the Knicks, who can push the ball, but their strength is definitely in the half court with the great Jalen Brunson controlling the tempo. Karl Anthony Towns has been very good. The supporting cast has been very good. The Knicks only go 6 deep, really.
Yeah.
The other players that they bring in are throwaways, where the Pacers can play 9. and 9 effective players. And so you're right. They don't. Halliburton is I think he's a superstar, but not in the classic sense of the word. Speaking of gamers, Brunson, clutch player of the year. Wow, is he ever a gamer? But Halliburton is too. I mean, the number of game-winning shots this guy has hit in critical moments, it's really impressive. And this is a very cohesive team, extremely well coached. Tom Thibodeau will play the 6 guys until there's 5 seconds left and they're up 40.
No.
Like the last game, he kept everybody in, and I think he was trying to put Brunson in with about 4 minutes to go, and they were up 30 because I think Boston hit 2 threes. But Rick Carlisle is a much more of a savant, and really has been, I think, to congeal this Pacer lineup. So they're playing really well, and that's what's exciting about the Eastern Conference, Jason. You've got 2 teams that are playing really well right now and really, really are hungry for this opportunity to get to the NBA Finals. Pacers have nenever been there. Last time the Knicks were there, Richard Nixon was the president. So this is 2 real hungry teams.
Oh, yeah. It is good to get some new faces. Obviously, OKC, same thing. You look at and maybe in Minnesota, right? Similar style as far as teams never won. So you're going to have, teams that haven't won in a long, long time, if ever. So that to me is exciting. What about Anthony Edwards? Declan, who follows basketball a lot closer than I do, he's talking about Edwards is a very confident player on the floor. There's no question about that. He's very good. He borders on at times, seemingly maybe a little bit out of control. What do you make of? Can you get him off his game? Do you think?
I'm really curious whether if there's a team that can get him off his game, to Declan's point, it would be, I think, the Thunder, because again, they have the athleticism, and if you can throw players like Dort and Caruso and SGA, and SGA is very different from Dort, who's extremely physical. Caruso is another level of physical. Boy, talk about the quintessential player you love having on your team and hate to play against.
Yeah.
That's Caruso. But SGA is a good defender in his own right. And here's the biggest weakness in Anthony Edwards' game. He's very loose with the basketball at times. And the Timberwolves, in their 2 series, even though they were both 1-5 games, had far too many turnovers. That will not work against the Thunder. The Thunder are a different deal than the 2 previous opponents. They're deep. They're young. They're very ambitious. They're extremely well coached. They have a superstar scorer in SGA. You can say the same thing about Anthony Edwards, but SGA is tighter with the basketball than Edwards is. So, long answer to a short question, Jason. Can they get him off his game? Maybe. They very well may be able to do that. But then it's going to be a question of how do the other Timberwolves step up, particularly can Julius Randle, who's had an outstanding first 2 series, can he continue that level of play against a tougher Thunder opponent?
And quickly, Paul, give me your thoughts on the Stingers' start to the season.
Disappointing. I think I maybe touched on it before. I think what the Stingers are going to have to come to terms with is a cultural thing that they have not yet mastered, which is winning close games.
Yes.
Now, they had a phenomenal comeback in target time. I think they were down 17 going into the target score window, had a great comeback. So that's a good sign. I liked a lot of their pieces. You and I touched on a few of them last week. So I think a lot of ingredients are there. And when they get their full roster in, I think the Stingers are going to be tough, but there's something missing in their inability to close games out that has happened over the last couple of seasons and carried in to the first 2 games of this season. So they're going to have to figure that out. And, but they're fun to watch. And some of their skilled players, I think, are really, really good. So I'm hoping against Saskatchewan, they can rebound a bit. And then when they play Vancouver in Vancouver, that I think early on, and it's way too early to tell, but right now it looks like Vancouver's the best team in the CEBL. So the Stingers are going to have their hands full on the road with that game in particular.
Yeah, well, Sean East has been great early on in the 2 games, right? He's a really good shooter, and They're 0-2 and they're -5 combined. They lost by 2 and lost by 3, right? So they're right there. Now, how about their defense? Are they giving up too much?
Well, yeah, I think they're giving up more certainly than Coach Baker would want them to give up. They're not far off, but you have a week of training camp, and you didn't have a big against Winnipeg. Your big was out injured, so I mean they were playing small ball the whole time. Winnipeg's a good team. The CBL is filled with good teams this year. The parity in the league, the ability top to bottom, year 7 compared to year 1, massive difference. So, you're right. They're -5, 2 losses, but that's the crux of the challenge the Stingers have to overcome is they can't lose all of the close games.
Yeah.
They've got to win their share of the close games. So that's what their challenge will be.
Yeah, no, that's totally valid. Great stuff, Paul. We appreciate it. Enjoy the games, man. Who you got, by the way? Who you got going to the final in the NBA? Who's winning?
Begrudgingly, even though I'm a passionate Timberwolves fan, I've got the Thunder against the Pacers right now. That's my guess going into it. I'm really curious how New York and Indiana match up.
All right. Love it. Thanks, Paul. Have a great day, my man.
You too. Take care, Jason.
That's Paul Sir from Basketball Alberta. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back, wrap things up. We'll get to the Oilers, of course, Dallas Stars. Lots of text to get to 833-401-1440 in our email inbox. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing. But it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes, fittedgolf.ca.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing, taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's 2 things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
Tasting just so right. You can order noodle at oodle-noodle.ca. Delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle-noodle at oodle-noodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodle-noodle.ca. Oodle-noodle.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Spring cleanup is a breeze with the Lawnmower Hospital and Echo Pro Attachment Series. With one power head and 16 different attachments, the Echo PAS powers through almost any spring cleanup job. And speaking of power, Echo now has a battery-powered power head that uses the same attachments as gas. Find out how commercial landscapers can save 20% for 24 months with the Landscaper Fleet Discount Program. See lawnmowerhosp.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
It's playoff time, and we've got a lot to talk about. This is Andrew Walker on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. Tune in after every playoff game for the Ridge Social Eatery postgame show. The Ridge is the new hotspot in St. Albert, and it's so good.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Sports 1440. Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Tonight, if you had a few days off, you're like, what's happening? Well, guess what? The NHL playoffs is happening tonight. Carolina and Florida. Who you guys take? Who you taking, Cons?
I got to go Carolina. I just discounted them in the last round. I thought they looked really good. So I'm going to go with the Canes. And, you know, what they've gone through this year, you know, thinking they landed the superstar in Mikko Rantanen. Obviously, it didn't work out for them. I think they got an inspired bunch there. So I'm going to go with the Hurricanes.
Okay. Who did Deck pick?
He's got Florida.
Florida. All right. Now, let's I got a lot of text to get to. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Hey guys, how would you contain Rantanen? Well, here's the question: which Rantanen am I containing? So he has 19 points, right? But 4 of them came in a 4-game span. Right? They came games. What was that? Game 5, 6, and 7 against Colorado, and then game 1 against Winnipeg. He scored 8 goals, and he had 6 assists in those 4 games. He was on fire. But outside of those 4 games, he has 1 goal the rest of them. So it's a good question. And he had another 3-point game. Like, he's really kind of being all or nothing with Rantanen. If he gets going, he'll kill you. So it's funny because he has 2 4-point games, 3 3-point games, and 2 1-point games. And then he's had no points in 6 games. So it's a fascinating question because it seems like when he's on, he gets rolling and he's a big train. And he just rolls right through and crushes you. But if you kind of dig deeper, like the good news is when he's on, like I'm trying to think, did they lose any of those games? I think they lost 1 against Colorado, right? Because they weren't down 3-1 in that series to Colorado. So they lost game 6, I think it was. I think they lost game 6. Yeah, let me see. What was this? They lost game 6. He had 4 points, but they lost 7-4. But they won game 5, they won game 7, they won game 1, and then they also defeated Winnipeg 5-2. So when he has a big night, they're 4-1. That's really good. I'd have to look at times when he's getting 0 for what's happening. So to shut him down, I would put Draisaitl's line against him because clearly he can be shut down. So, and I like this question. Boys, you think the Oilers will come out flat first game after 5-day break? Well, they lost the Stanley Cup final game 1 to Florida, got shut out, despite outshooting them and outchancing them. They just didn't score. So I don't even know if I'd classify that as flat, really. I think they'll come out better. I think they'll be ready to play. I think that's something this team has discussed. They know it, and I think they're ready, and they know that if you give games away, it just makes the series longer, which makes it more taxing later on. So I'm going to say no. It doesn't guarantee they'll win game 1, but I don't see them coming out and, laying an egg and having a dud of a game. Right? They were down, 5-1 to LA before they had the great comeback. I don't see that happening. I think we'll see more of game 1 to Vegas. On behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, I'm Jason Gregor. Thanks so much. Enjoy the playoffs, NBA, NHL, and we will chat with you tomorrow. It is game day. We'll be live at On the Rocks. Here's a Conman Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. No overtime on weekends or late at night. Legacyheating.ca. Good night.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Down in Carolina tonight, got game 1, Panthers, Hurricanes of the Eastern Conference Final. That one gets going in about 10 minutes time in the association at 6:30. Thunder hosting the Timberwolves, game 1 of the Western Final. Major League Baseball today, the Jays are in action, hosting the Padres. They lead 1-0 in the bottom of the third. Elsewhere, Astros up on the Rays 2-0 in the third, and the Nationals have a 4-3 lead over the Braves, bottom of the fourth. Later tonight, Phillies in Colorado. You got the Dodgers taking on the Diamondbacks, and Angels in Sacramento for a meeting with the Athletics. PWHL League Final game 1 of their best of 5, scoreless after 20 minutes between the Minnesota Frost and the Ottawa Charge. At the men's IIHF World Championship, Canada beat Sweden 5-3 to win Group A. They'll now play Denmark in the quarterfinals on Thursday, and earlier on this afternoon, NFL owners voting to permit players to participate in the flag football event at the 2028 Summer Olympic Games in Los Angeles. The next step is to negotiate with the Players Association and national governing bodies. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, we've got Fox Sports Radio. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. on the Kevin Carrier Show. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440.